Chapter 110. Why don't you continue to release the Black Dragon Force? Yi Tianyun shook his hand. That sword attack was not weak. If it was an ordinary person, he would have been pierced by it. Especially under the Black Dragon Force, he couldn't detect the situation around him. If it wasn't for his strength, he would have been pierced by this sword attack. Die. Old ancestor He Hun was extremely angry. He once again waved his sword and rushed towards Yi Tianyun. The Black Dragon Force around him drilled into his body. Suddenly, his strength skyrocketed. His combat power soared crazily. The reason why he has such strong strength is because of the Black Dragon Force. Ordinary peak core condensation cultivators have 160,000 combat power at most. But old ancestor He Hun's combat power has exceeded 200,000. Whether it is speed or strength, both have reached a new peak. Black Dragon Roar. The long sword in old ancestor He Hun's hand flashed with a black light. A black dragon mark appeared on the blade of the sword. Immediately, a black dragon mark appeared on his body. Old ancestor He Hun felt like he turned into a black dragon and rushed towards Yi Tianyun. The world began to tremble, and countless cracks appeared on the hard ground. More Black Dragon Force surged from the cracks and drilled into old ancestor He Hun's body layer by layer. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed. With the appraisal eye, old ancestor He Hun's combat power continued to rise. It has reached a high of 210,000. Strong. Very strong. Compared to all the previous opponents, he is several levels stronger. Yi Tianyun didn't expect that the Black Dragon spiritual vein could strengthen him so much. This is not the level that ordinary peak core condensation cultivators can achieve. It is equivalent to the level of spirit core stage. Of course, no matter how strong he is, it is just a piece of cake for Yi Tianyun. Frost Fist, activate. He used the special effect of the Frost Fist, and a terrifying frost domain exploded in the surroundings. The crazy cold air swept in all directions, and everywhere it went was frozen, including the surging Black Dragon power. It was frozen by this overbearing effect. The originally swaying energy had been frozen into a popsicle. Old ancestor He Hun, who was rushing over, was frozen by this special effect. His whole body was frozen in place, and the power coming out of his body was also frozen on the surface. This was a heaven-defying effect. Even after the Frost Fist had been upgraded to a soul tool, it could still freeze Ancestor Black Soul. He might not be able to freeze it for too long, but even if he could only freeze it for 10 seconds, old Ancestor Black Soul would definitely die. Not bad, you can freeze it. Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and walked over. Old Ancestor Black Soul's expression was frozen, and he could only watch as Yi Tianyun walked over, and he couldn't even say a word. He walked in front of Patriarch He Hun, grabbed his arm, and slammed him to the ground. With a loud bang, Patriarch He Hun was slammed to the ground. Dense cracks appeared on the ground, spreading out like a spider web. After locking old ancestor Black Soul, Yi Tianyun fully activated Absorbing Star's great technique. Tens of thousands of EXP crazily poured into his body. This time, he can finally absorb it slowly, and he wants to see how long he can absorb it. If he can maintain this state, after absorbing it, he will level up several times, and that would be perfect. However, after maintaining this state for half a minute, old ancestor Black Soul began to loosen. Die, damn brat. I will kill you. Old ancestor Black Soul roared, and the power of the black dragon inside his body broke out, and he wanted to shake Yi Tianyun away. It was a humiliation to be pressed like this. Dragon God Bloodline, open. After the Dragon God bloodline broke out, dragon scales quickly appeared on his body, and his strength was greatly increased, at least several times stronger than usual, and his combat power suddenly broke out. After the increase in strength, the power that broke out from his arms fiercely pressed down on old ancestor Black Soul, making him unable to move at all. After suppressing him, he continued to quickly absorb the spiritual power inside old ancestor Black Soul's body, and quickly withdrew it. Bastard. Let go of me, let go of me. Old ancestor Black Soul's body shook, but how could he compare with Yi Tianyun's strength? His combat power was not weak, but it did not mean that he was strong. Most of his strength relied on the power of the Black Dragon, and when he controlled the power of the Black Dragon, he was more overbearing. Why should I let go of you, and then wait for you to kill me? Do you think I am stupid? Yi Tianyun sneered, you have done a lot of evil things, this time I will suck you dry. Get out of my way. Old Ancestor Black Soul roared angrily, and madly controlled the power of the Black Dragon underground, and continued to envelop Yi Tianyun, but this devouring power could not hurt Yi Tianyun. Originally, after the Dragon God bloodline broke out, his defensive power had greatly increased, and with the addition of the Guardian title and the Chaotic Heaven Divine Armor, he was simply indestructible. No matter how hard the power of the Black Dragon gnawed, it could not bite even a little bit. As Yi Tianyun absorbed more and more power, Old Ancestor Black Soul became weaker and weaker, and was about to be sucked dry. Let go of me, give me. Old Ancestor Black Soul had no strength to struggle, and after a moment, the spiritual power in his body was completely sucked dry. What's going on? No spiritual power? Don't you have the blessing of the Black Dragon's spiritual vein? Why is your spiritual power so weak? At this time, Yi Tianyun found that Old Ancestor Black Soul's body was black. It seems that he was overdrawn, and even his body was eroded by the power of the Black Dragon. Sure enough, using this power indiscriminately will cause a lot of damage to himself. This is obviously a kind of evil technique. Old Ancestor Black Soul couldn't hear Yi Tianyun's words. After being sucked dry, he already fainted. In addition, he can't suppress the power of the Black Dragon. His body has been quickly eroded, and it seems that his consciousness is gradually disappearing. It seems that I can't do it anymore. In the next life, remember to be a good person to repay all this. Yi Tianyun aimed at Old Ancestor He Hun's head and punched him hard. With a loud bang, Old Ancestor He Hun was completely killed. Ding, successfully killed Old Ancestor Black Soul, gained 120,000 EXP, 3000 crazy point. Obtained Black Dragon Divine Secret Art, low-grade Earth level martial art, Soul Destruction Palm, low-grade Earth level martial art, Black Dragon Spiritual Vein Crystal, Black Dragon Skeleton. After killing Old Ancestor Black Soul, the things that dropped are quite rich. 2 Earth level martial art can be used to fuse proficiency. But the most special is the last 2, which made him feel a bit strange. Black Dragon Spiritual Vein Crystal, Black Dragon Skeleton, what are these? After Yi Tianyun checked, the information immediately appeared. Black Dragon Spiritual Vein Crystal, the energy crystal of the Black Dragon, can be absorbed for cultivation, suitable for cultivators who cultivate dark attribute. Black Dragon Skeleton, the skeleton of the Black Dragon, the main backbone of the Black Dragon, with blessing of the Black Dragon Soul and Black Dragon Spiritual Vein, can summon the Black Dragon. What? Can summon the Black Dragon? Chapter 111. If I can summon a Black Dragon as a pet, can I fly? Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. If he wanted to fly, he would need to reach the core transformation stage, which was a relatively long process. Only when he reached the core transformation stage, he would be able to fly. Therefore, it was undoubtedly a wonderful thing to have a flying demon beast. At least, it would be very convenient for him to escape and travel. But where can I get the soul of the Black Dragon? Yi Tianyun frowned. He remembered that when he investigated Ancestor He Hun's situation, he saw that the soul of the Black Dragon would drop, but he didn't expect it to drop even after activating his luck aura. It was really a pity. If my luck is good enough, or if my luck aura is upgraded, I will definitely be able to get it. But now, Ancestor He Hun is dead. Yi Tianyun shook his head and felt very disappointed. If he missed this opportunity, how could he get the soul of the Black Dragon back? Who would be able to get the soul of the Black Dragon? Immediately, he didn't think too much about it. He took out all of Ancestor He Hun's items and put them into his inventory. There were many valuable things inside. Even if he couldn't fuse them to increase his proficiency, he could at least sell them for money. Ancestor He Hun is dead. Ancestor He Hun is dead. Great. Ancestor He Hun is dead. At this time, someone shouted, which attracted Yi Tianyun's attention. He looked up and saw some bandits on the side. They were shocked, and some even collapsed on the ground. Everyone had a different expression. It seems that there are still some fish that escaped the net. I have to clean them up. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes and rushed towards them. He waved his fist and greeted them with a cold air. As long as he punched them, they would be killed instantly. Bang! At this time, they all knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Hero, thank you for killing Ancestor Hei Hun and saving us. Hero, please let us go. We were forced to join the dragon's treasure stronghold. If we don't join, our families will be killed. We're just following instructions, and we've been working here all this time. We've never gone out to harm anyone. Those are all in the outer strongholds, and those in the inner strongholds are specialized in internal affairs. We can't go out. They kept kowtowing to Yi Tianyun until their foreheads started to bleed. In order to survive, they were willing to do anything. Yi Tianyun stopped and squinted at them. This kind of thing was not rare. After all, there were so many people in the village, so it was impossible for all of them to be internal members. Some of them must have been recruited from outside. For example, cooking, cleaning, and so on were definitely not done by the internal staff. They had to be recruited from outside, and they had to be dragged in by force. Whether you've done anything wrong or not, everything will be judged. If you act blindly without thinking, then don't blame me for being ruthless. At that time, will you run faster, or will my fists be faster? Yi Tianyun signaled them to gather together. He gathered all the remaining bandits and brought them outside. Outside, Liu Menglian had already rescued everyone. When she saw Yi Tianyun coming over with a group of people, her complexion suddenly changed. Young master, this is... Liu Menglian looked at the group of people behind him and was somewhat puzzled. I don't know how many of them were brought in by force. I believe some of them had no choice. So please take a look and see who can be forgiven and who can't. Yi Tianyun said to the trapped villagers. He's from our village. In order to protect us, he chose to join us, he was forced to join us. He's my husband, he was brought in by force. He's been cooking for us, he's with those bad guys. At this time, someone immediately recognized that someone had sneaked in. That person's complexion turned pale. He turned around and wanted to grab the person next to him to use as a shield. But Yi Tianyun's speed was faster. With a kick, he flew out and smashed into a distant house. There was no more movement from him. Continue. Of course, you can recognize each other and see who did what wrong. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. He's innocent. He was captured and brought in here. They all pointed out that there were a few people who tried to fish in troubled waters. After being recognized, they ran away or knelt down and begged for mercy. But Yi Tianyun didn't let them go. Because under the accusation, they have done too many evil things. Not just once or twice, but many times. After the cleanup, the entire dragon's treasure village is truly destroyed. All the bandits have been cleaned up. Even if there are some who happen to be outside, they can't do anything anymore. After the death of the three leaders and old ancestor Hei Hun, the dragon's treasure village has no one to rely on. Successfully completed Destroy Dragon's Treasure Village quest. Reward, 150,000 EXP, 10,000 Crazy Point, 100 Prestige Point. The quest information that popped up proved that he has completed the quest perfectly. Liu Menglian said to Yi Tianyun, Young master, let's go back. Well, you go back first, I want to look for something here. Yi Tianyun didn't rush back, he signaled them to go back first. Liu Menglian didn't ask anything, she just nodded and said, then I will wait for young master to come back in Gong village. Young master, please be careful. After they all left, Yi Tianyun's attention returned to the dragon's treasure village. He didn't rush to leave, naturally. He wants to explore the underground black dragon spiritual vein. He wants to see what kind of spiritual vein it is. Immediately, he came to the center of the dragon's treasure village. There is a luxurious house here, no doubt it is the place where old ancestor Hei Hun and the others live. After entering, the house has been ransacked, there is nothing valuable left. This is the order given by Yi Tianyun, he let the other villagers move away the valuable things. During this time, he sensed that there is an unknown power under the ground. He just happened to see the passage that leads to the underground from the house, but because he has other things to deal with, he didn't care about it for the time being. After they all left, Yi Tianyun returned to the place and walked down the stairs to the underground. The more he went down, the more he felt an oppressive power surging towards him. This power is very familiar. It is the power of the black dragon. It came from the underground. Soon, he reached the underground. There is a huge stone door blocking the way. He pulled the door next to it, and it slowly opened. When the door opened, the power of the black dragon spread out and wrapped around his body. There is a kind of evil power that wants to drag him in. Chapter 112. After the stone door was completely opened, a pitch-black passage came into view. There were a few lights flashing in the passage, but they were also flashing with black light. After he walked in, he immediately heard a tempting voice in his ears. Do you want great power? Do you want to become stronger? Do you want to be above everything? If you want great power, come over and accept me. I will give you the strongest power. This kind of demonic voice was really tempting, especially the power that came from the surroundings. It was a kind of incomparably powerful power, which really made people yearn for it. On the surrounding rock wall, there were black lines, like black crystals inlaid on it, which looked very beautiful. However, this beauty was filled with a strange energy. Yi Tianyun just took a glance and continued to walk in. When he went deeper, he felt that the power of the black dragon was exactly the same as the power displayed by old ancestor He Hun. When he walked to the end, he saw a dragon's head. However, this dragon's head had turned into a skeleton, but on the surface, it was still a dragon's head. It was surrounded by the power of the black dragon, which was enough to show that this black dragon's cultivation was not simple when it was alive. Yi Tianyun looked up, and the detailed information immediately appeared. Black dragon's head, cultivation, none, weakness, none. If killed, it is possible to obtain the black dragon's soul, the black dragon's skeleton, and the black dragon's spiritual vein crystal. The black dragon's soul. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. Sure enough, he found it. If he could blow up this black dragon's head, then he would have a chance to obtain the black dragon's soul. Human, do you desire great power? The light inside the black dragon's head flickered. Although the head did not open its mouth to speak, it could still transmit a voice. Of course, I desire it. Isn't that obvious? Yi Tianyun was not in a hurry to blow up the black dragon's head. He planned to chat with it first. Very good, as long as you accept my fusion, you will be able to obtain great power. The black light flickered and continued. I can already feel your power. You are very powerful. If you can fuse with me, you will become even more powerful. At that time, no one will be a match for you. You will be above everyone. What about that old ancestor Black Soul from before? Yi Tianyun said with a faint smile. Didn't he fuse with you? I don't think he's that strong. That trash is too weak. He can't withstand my power, which is why he's so weak. As long as you are strong enough, you will be able to control my power. The black light flickered as the voice continued. Is that so? What are the conditions to obtain this power? Asked Yi Tianyun. I don't need any conditions. As long as you fuse with me and keep offering sacrifices to me, I can make you stronger. Black light continued. Keep offering sacrifices. What will happen to me if I fuse with you? Yi Tianyun continued to ask. There will be no effect. You will only become stronger and stronger than everyone. Reaching the spirit core stage will not be difficult. Reaching the core transformation stage will not be out of reach. The black light constantly tempted him, throwing out an even higher cultivation. This king is the legendary Black Dragon King. The power I possess is incomparably great. As long as you fuse with me, you will obtain even more martial arts and even greater power. Sounds good. Yi Tianyun walked over and approached the black dragon's head and asked, What should I do? You don't need to do anything. Relax your body and let my energy penetrate into your body. Just fuse with you. Black light flickered and seemed to be excited. This sounds good. Yi Tianyun grinned, then fuse with me. Then he reached out and grabbed the black dragon's head. The absorbing star's great technique was fully activated and began to madly extract its energy. What are you doing? Black light flickered fiercely and screams were constantly heard. Nothing. Didn't you say that you want me to fuse with you? As long as I absorb you, we will be one. Yi Tianyun laughed. No, not like this. You want my energy to penetrate into your body. Black light flickered incessantly and the area began to tremble. The earth was shaking and the mountains were shaking as if it was going to collapse at any time. Really? But I prefer to fuse like this. Yi Tianyun sneered. As the energy was continuously absorbed, the surrounding power of the black dragon began to gradually fade, but under this crazy devouring, it quickly aroused the resistance of the black light. Countless black energy quickly emerged from the surroundings and tried to bind Yi Tianyun and drag him away. But Yi Tianyun was not so easy to be dragged away. His dragon god blood instantly erupted, thick dragon scales appeared on his body and his strength increased crazily. When the power of the black dragon swept over, not only did it not devour him, but it was also absorbed by the absorbing star's great technique. The double superposition of Dark North divine art and absorbing star's great technique is not so simple. His whole body can devour energy crazily, so he doesn't necessarily need to use both hands. After the crazy devouring, Yi Tianyun's EXP soared crazily, and finally after a period of absorption, he ushered in a breakthrough. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun, successfully upgraded to the peak of core condensation. Finally upgraded to the peak of core condensation, ready to break through to the spirit core stage. Yi Tianyun breathed a sigh of relief. He just absorbed so much EXP from old ancestor He Hun and killed him, and even completed the task, but he did not level up. In the later stage, even with so much EXP, he still can't level up quickly, unless he has 10 times EXP card in hand, otherwise it will be really difficult to level up. Although compared to others, he is already close to exploding, but who doesn't want to be too strong? Bastard human! Hurry up and let go of me. This black light, or should be said to be the Black Dragon King, it is angry, constantly controlling the surrounding energy to roll over, but the more energy rolled over, the more the surrounding black crystals become dim. As long as it uses energy, the surrounding crystals will become dim, which is equivalent to consumption. Plus now Yi Tianyun is devouring crazily. The situation is getting worse and worse. Yi Tianyun turned a deaf ear to it. He has been devouring crazily. How can he miss this kind of experience? The Black Dragon King from the beginning to the end, it can't release much energy. The flickering light is getting weaker and weaker. It seems to be dying. Human. You win. Please let me go. I know a lot of martial arts. I will teach you. The Black Dragon King began to beg for mercy. It only has the last bit of soul left. If it is gone, it will really die. Chapter 113. The Black Dragon King's energy was getting weaker and weaker, the surrounding black dragon power was also getting weaker and weaker, even the sound of begging for mercy was getting weaker and weaker. I beg you, human, please let me go, don't continue to devour me. If this continues, I will definitely die. I know a lot of secrets, I know a lot of treasures. As long as you let me go, I will tell you everything. The Black Dragon King constantly begged for mercy, begging Yi Tianyun to let him go. Unfortunately, I am not interested in any of this. You want to fuse with me, nothing more than to devour me. Do you think I don't know the situation of old ancestor He Hun? It seems that his body has already been devoured. You just want to use us to give you more energy, to become your puppet and continue to offer sacrifice. One day, you will definitely be resurrected. As for when, I don't know. Yi Tianyun had already seen through its tricks. He believed that old ancestor He Hun was also aware of it, but old ancestor He Hun didn't resist and instead continued to cultivate. Because in addition to this method, other methods to enhance his cultivation were too slow, it was impossible for him to break through, so old ancestor He Hun had no choice but to continue to cultivate. The Black Dragon King used their bodies to seize their bodies. This was impossible. The process was extremely difficult and risky. He could only rely on devouring sacrifices to constantly enhance his own energy, and then he would be able to be reborn. Legend has it that once he reached the Saint King stage, he would be able to regenerate his body. For this reason he has been desperately cultivating. Devouring sacrifices to cultivate, this was a very ruthless thing. No one knew how many sacrifices he would need to devour to reach the Saint King stage. It was possible that he would not be able to break through to the Saint King stage even if he devoured the sacrifices. Whether or not he could reach the Saint King stage, the Black Dragon King didn't care. He could only continue to fight. No matter how many people died, he didn't care. I don't need you to do this, I just need you to let me go. The Black Dragon King whispered for mercy. No, you killed so many people, It's time to pay the price. Yi Tianyun snorted coldly, feeling that it was enough. He pinched the Black Dragon King fiercely. Ah! I curse you to never be reincarnated. With a scream, the Black Dragon's skull was crushed by Yi Tianyun, including the black light inside. Ding! Successfully killed Black Dragon King's soul, rewarding 10,000 EXP, 5,000 crazy point. He has obtained the Black Dragon's soul and the Black Dragon's spirit vein crystal. After killing it, he successfully obtained the Black Dragon's soul and an additional Black Dragon spirit vein crystal. At this time, the Black Dragon power in the surroundings had completely disappeared, returning to its original color. The Black Dragon King had extended its power to cover the entire dragon's treasure stronghold, so that it could devour others. However, it did not devour them all at once. Instead, it used them as nourishment, devouring them bit by bit instead of devouring them all at once. Only then would he be able to increase his strength bit by bit. Who knew that it would be sucked dry by Yi Tianyun? First, old ancestor He Hun absorbed a lot of the Black Dragon's power, causing it to disappear in a short time. Not bad, the Black Dragon's soul drop. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. Finally, the Black Dragon's soul dropped this time. If he couldn't even get this, then it would be really bad. Rumble, at this time, the surrounding began to tremble, which made Yi Tianyun's eyebrows raised. His figure flashed and ran to the surface. When he just ran outside, the underground passage began to collapse. The entire dragon's treasure stronghold collapsed in a blink of an eye, as if it was hit by an earthquake. I almost couldn't escape. Yi Tianyun wiped his sweat. If he was any slower, he would be buried under the ground. After calming down, he took out the Black Dragon's soul, Black Dragon spirit vein crystal, and the Black Dragon skeleton. When he gathered them together, the option to fuse them appeared. He did not hesitate to click on the fusion button, and immediately the three things quickly fused together. After a moment, a black light soared into the sky, and when the black light gradually disappeared, what appeared in front of him was a black dragon more than 3 meters high. Its whole body was covered with black scales, huge wings on its back, sharp dragon claws, and a huge dragon head. All these prove that it is a real black dragon, not just a skeleton. Black dragon, cultivation level 1 core condensation. The scales on its body are comparable to a low-grade soul tool, indestructible. The claws are comparable to a low-grade soul tool, indestructible. Potential, level 5. As the cultivation gets stronger, the body will become bigger and bigger, and the flame it spits out is enough to melt everything. So strong. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up, especially the potential of the level 5. One must know that the Snow Wolf's potential is only level 2, according to the rules here, the potential is level 10. But reaching the level 10 potential, what kind of monster is that? The Black Dragon is a dragon, but it only has level 5 potential. The higher the potential, the higher the growth value, whether it is strength or speed. When the cultivation level increases, there will be a significant enhancement. In fact, it is defined as talent. The stronger the talent, the stronger the power. Roar. The black dragon roared at him, then leaned over and rubbed its huge dragon head on his body, showing its intimacy. This black dragon is not the previous Black Dragon King. The two have nothing to do with each other. It is a newly summoned pet. Okay, from now on, you are my pet. Hang with me. I guarantee you will have a good life. Yi Tianyun smiled, reached out and stroked its body, then immediately sat on it and gently patted its body. The black dragon roared. It seems to be expressing its willingness. Yi Tianyun smiled, feeling very satisfied. Another powerful pet. As long as it is cultivated, it will become a big helper. He now lacks this. The more helpers the better, so his strength will be stronger. Immediately, he began to sort out the spoils of war. He obtained a lot of Earth-level martial arts, temporarily sold all the things, turned into a pile of crazy points. Originally, he wanted to integrate it, but he felt that the Dark North Divine Art has reached intermediate Earth level. It is not necessary for the time being, at least it is enough for now. After selling the Black Dragon Divine Art, he opened the property bar. Everything appeared in front of him. Player, Yi Tianyun level, 30, 10th level core condensation, EXP, crazy point, 138728, prestige, 230, cultivation technique, Dark North Divine Art, Dragon God Secret Art, Shen divine art martial arts, absorbing stars great technique, blood fiend soaring heaven weapon, frost fist, blood fiend divine spear, sword of endlessness, chaotic heaven sacred axe armor, snow wolf battle boots, divine armor, shadow cloak, chaotic heaven divine armor, chaotic heaven battle boots divine ability, crazy mode. Luck aura bloodline, dragon god bloodline decoration, forging god hammer, power bracelet, power ring, power belt, blood fiend bracelet all items, 18 recovery medicinal pill, 5 double exp pill, gift pack LV31, life x1, bad luck divine pill treasure, purple fire divine furnace title, guardian flame, immortal fire. When he saw the experience required for the next level, he took a deep breath. 5 million, how long will it take to reach it? Forget it, I can only take it step by step, let's go back, it's not good to let Sister Xiao Lian wait for a long time. Yi Tianyun nodded, sat on the black dragon and said, let's go back. Chapter 114. With the astonishing speed of the black dragon, he arrived near the Gong village in the blink of an eye. Then he landed and put away the black dragon. This black dragon must not be seen by others, otherwise it would be a very troublesome matter. Scaring them was not a big deal, but if it was spread out, then he would be in great trouble. The black dragon was a kind of dragon race, every part of its body was a treasure, and the third-grade forces would soon be eyeing this black dragon. At that time, it was not impossible for them to forcibly seize this black dragon, so he had to be careful. Moreover, if he kept it, just like the snow wolf, he could use it as a trump card and suddenly summon it for a sneak attack. This was a big killer move. After adjusting his state of mind, Yi Tianyun walked into the Gong village. The Gong village was now in a festive mood. But with joy comes sorrow, some people were captured and never came back, without a doubt, they were dead. For bandits, these people's lives were simply not lives, they could be slaughtered at will, abused at will, and finally, after they died, their corpses were disposed of. His vicious and merciless methods were mostly to serve as a warning to the others, so that the others who were captured would know whose orders they should obey. Young hero Yi is back. When Yi Tianyun just entered the village entrance, people immediately noticed him and came over with tears of gratitude. Some people even knelt down and kowtowed to Yi Tianyun, which made Yi Tianyun hurriedly signal them to get up, but they did not listen and kowtowed to him. Young hero Yi, don't stop us, if not for you, we would have died in that dragon's treasure stronghold. We don't have anything to give you, so we can only ask you to accept our kowtow, we can only give you so much gratitude. That's right, so in any case, please accept our kowtow. If you don't accept our kowtow, then you are looking down on us. The whole village knelt down, even Liu Menglian knelt down, there was no other meaning, this was her hometown. Yi Tianyun had saved the entire village, which was equivalent to saving her, so she also knelt down to worship him. Young master, please accept our kowtow. We have nothing to give you. We can only give you this insignificant kowtow to express our gratitude. Liu Menglian said. Yi Tianyun felt helpless and could only accept this bow. Since they had already said so, if he didn't let them bow, he would really be looking down on them. After bowing, they all stood up, still filled with endless gratitude. They would never forget this kindness. In their most desperate moment, Yi Tianyun appeared and saved them. Naturally, he was like a second parent to them. The rest of the village was in a state of celebration. They had obtained a lot of valuable things from the dragon's treasure stronghold, which made their situation slightly better. Therefore, they were able to celebrate. He slaughtered all the remaining rice, noodles, chickens, and ducks at home and made a sumptuous meal. Yi Tianyun felt the atmosphere and smiled as well. He threw himself into the party. Happy times were always short. After the party was over, it was time to leave. Yi Tianyun helped Liu Menglian's father to heal his leg injury. He was able to get out of bed and walk. There was nothing else for him to do. It was impossible for them to move out. They relied on the mountains to survive. They had always been farming. Therefore, Yi Tianyun did not try to persuade them to leave. The dragon's treasure stronghold had been destroyed. This place was undoubtedly safe. Whether there would be other bandits in the future, it was unknown. However, he had passed down basic mortal-level martial arts to some talented youngsters. Their future achievements would depend on themselves. Xiao Lian. Young Master Yi is a good person. He has already reached the standard of becoming my son-in-law. Old Liu was very satisfied with Yi Tianyun, but he also felt that his daughter was a good match for him. Father, don't talk nonsense. How can I be a good match for young master? When Liu Manglian said these words, the light in her beautiful eyes slightly dimmed. She was a bit disappointed. There is no such thing as a good match. Is my daughter not a good match for him? Old Liu smiled and said, Xiao Lian, it is already a great honor for us to have you join Jade Palace. Cultivate hard. There is no one who is not a good match for you. Liu Menglian's eyes were red. She knew that her father was encouraging her to work hard and not be too discouraged. Father, I will work hard. Liu Menglian nodded firmly. Well, you are becoming more and more like your mother. If only your mother was still here. She would be able to see our daughter become successful. She would be able to stand on her own. Old Liu's eyes were also red. Father, after the father and daughter had a good talk, they were reluctant to part. Young master, let's go. Liu Menglian came over, her face was full of smile, like a beautiful crabapple, blooming so beautiful. Sister Xiao Lian, you seem to be in a good mood. Yi Tianyun smiled. Of course it's good. Of course I'm in a good mood now that one of my worries has been resolved, Liu Menglian said with a smile. Is that so? Yi Tianyun touched his nose. This is indeed a big deal. Then let's go to Wind City now. We need to buy a batch of materials. Liu Manglian looked at Yi Tianyun's back, and her beautiful eyes were a little bit more brilliant. After a while, they arrived at Tianfeng City. Yi Tianyun came here to earn Crazy Point. He has no other thoughts. He has a lot of Crazy Point now, but for him, it's still too little. There are too many divine skills that need to be upgraded. He can use up 100 million Crazy Point in an instant. Returning to Rain Pavilion, the familiar scene reminded him of the situation some time ago. The opposite Wind Pavilion is gone. It has been replaced by Rain Pavilion. The whole building was bought by the Heavenly Rain Building. Everything had changed so quickly. The forces that were originally hostile to them had already been destroyed. When Yi Tianyun stepped into the Heavenly Rain Building, some of the guards recognized him, and they were stunned, and their eyes were glued to Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun. After a while, they recovered. One of them hurriedly ran upstairs to find someone. There is no doubt that the person they found is Zi Yuwei. Zi Yuwei hurriedly ran down from the upstairs, her face was full of panic, and when she saw Yi Tianyun, her eyes were quickly filled with a complex look. Recalling the little things that happened before, everything changed too fast. The most important thing is that she didn't protect Yi Tianyun. Now when they meet again, she always feels embarrassed and guilty. Pavilion Master Zi, long time no see. Yi Tianyun smiled, he didn't feel embarrassed, he waved and said hello. He knew Zi Yuei's difficulties at the time. She didn't have much power to intervene in that kind of thing. But in the end, she can remind him to escape, it's already the best she can do, she can't run with him, right? So he won't blame Zi Yuei, but one thing is certain, there will not be a deep relationship with Rain Pavilion, it will only be a cooperative relationship. Since she didn't stand up to help him, it can only be a cooperative relationship. At that time, he can already forge high-grade spirit tools, it shocked the entire Rain Pavilion, but Rain Pavilion didn't choose to protect him, it proves that for them, it's not worth it. Chapter 115. Because Zi Yuei and Yi Tianyun have a good relationship, so the headquarters of Rain Pavilion will certainly let Zi Yuei continue to maintain her position as Pavilion Master, or even give her more power so that she can fully assist Yi Tianyun. But this is meaningless. Yi Tianyun's strength has reached the point where he can suppress Wind Pavilion, he doesn't need Wind Pavilion's help at all. Helping him now is just icing on the cake, not sending charcoal in snowy weather, the meaning is completely different. Yi Gongzi, you're here. Zi Yuei doesn't know what to say, she thought Yi Tianyun will never come again. Well, I came here to buy some materials, I don't know if there is a discount. Yi Tianyun smiled. Yes, there is. There must be a discount, even free. Zi Yuei quickly replied. That's not necessary, just sell it to me at the normal price. Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and followed Zi Yuei to buy refining materials. After looking around, he asked, There is no material for refining soul tool here? Soul tool material. Her beautiful eyes widened, the elder behind her also widened his eyes. This is a bit unbelievable. Asking this question, it is very likely that Yi Tianyun is already able to refine soul tools. How old is he? Has already reached this level? Yes, I don't know if there is. Yi Tianyun asked. There is no. Wind Pavilion doesn't have this kind of material, but if you want, you can go outside to buy it, but it will take a long time. Ziyue slowly said. To be able to refine a soul tool, at least a 5th level blacksmith, but the success rate is too low, basically only a blacksmith master can refine a soul tool. Wind Pavilion doesn't have a blacksmith master, so soul tool material is useless. It is already very good to have a blacksmith who can refine a spirit tool, let alone a blacksmith master. That's the level of a 3rd level force or above. Alright then, I'll just buy some materials. Yi Tianyun had no choice but to give up. This was the level of this region. It wasn't rich in resources. Only regions with 3rd rank forces and above would be more developed. Sects were not established randomly, but according to the surrounding environment. The good places had already been occupied by powerful forces. It was simply not their turn to occupy them. After that, Yi Tianyun chose some materials. They were all materials that could be used to refine supreme-grade spiritual weapons. This was already very shocking. Take them all out. I want as much as you have. Yi Tianyun said in a rich and overbearing manner. Okay, no problem. Ziyue immediately sent someone to fetch the materials. After taking stock, Yi Tianyun felt somewhat disappointed. There weren't many of them, only 20 to 30 of them could be made. It's not that Wind Pavilion doesn't have enough resources, it's just that they don't have a lot of resources. Materials that can be used to refine spirit tools are relatively rare in this area. That's it? Yi Tianyun asked. Yes, that's it for the time being, but we can transfer it from the headquarters. Ziyue hurriedly added. Well, that's fine, no matter how many you have, bring it to me, including medicinal pellets. The higher the grade, the more I want. However, I might not have enough money, but I can refine a batch of goods for you. You have to give me 2 sets of materials to refine a weapon. How about that? Yi Tianyun said, this includes supreme-grade spiritual weapons and 4th-grade medicinal pellets. Do you want to do this business? Hearing this news, they were all shocked, and their hearts were rolling like a storm. This business is really a good deal. Its equivalent to 3 parts of materials is equivalent to a supreme-grade weapon. For them, this is already very attractive. Some people who can refine supreme-grade spiritual weapons need to fail more than 4 or 5 times, but he only needs 2 parts of materials as payment. It's really a good deal. The same is true for medicinal pellets. Needless to say, the quality of 4th-grade medicinal pellets need at least a 4th-grade alchemist to be able to refine them, so the payment is quite cost-effective. No problem. Ziyue nodded and said. Well, if that's the case, I will temporarily purchase this batch of materials. You can transport the rest to Jade Palace for me to refine, and when I'm done, you can send someone to pick up the goods. Yi Tianyun said indifferently, how many do you have? I don't reject anyone. With the money he has now, he can only temporarily buy this batch of materials, and this is the only batch of materials he has. If he wants to refine more in the future, there is no doubt that he won't be able to afford it. After all, this time he didn't choose to sell the weapons, but chose to exchange them for Crazy Point. That's fine, young master, ye can keep this batch of materials first, we will send them to you when we return. Ziyue was very excited. This business is quite big, it means that they can have a lot of supreme-grade spiritual weapons and 4th-grade medicinal pellets in the future. These are quite valuable things, how can she not be excited? Well, that's about it, this is the payment for you. Yi Tianyun said and waved his hand. Piles of gold piled up here, it looks very dazzling. These are all dropped from killing monsters, he has never used them, originally he planned to exchange them for Crazy Point. After looking at the ratio, it's not worth it at all. 100 gold taels to get 1 Crazy Point, this thing is really worthless. After Ziyue and the others accepted, it's time for Yi Tianyun to leave. At this time Ziyue wanted to say something, but she didn't say it, she can only sigh deeply. He left so quickly, He didn't stay at all. How can he build a good relationship? But she didn't say a word, she didn't say a word. Master Yi, please wait. At this time, the elder next to him shamelessly stopped him. What's the matter? Yi Tianyun looked at him and said, This. Last time, our Heavenly Rain building did not do a good job. In fact, we all wanted to help, but Heavenly Rain building's foundation is relatively weak, so please forgive us. This elder was actually the one who had tried to dissuade Zi Yue earlier, telling her not to say anything, let alone help. In the end, Zi Yue said something. He glared at her fiercely, blaming her for doing so. Now it seems that she is the stupid one. Oh, so you are talking about that matter. I don't care. Yi Tianyun really doesn't care. He smiled casually and said, if there is nothing else, then I will leave first. About the position of guest elder. The elder hurriedly asked. Guest elder, I promised to be your guest elder before, and now I am still a guest elder. Yi Tianyun smiled. The elder was happy, but immediately added, but I don't think I will have time to come here in the future. I am a guest elder. I am sorry about this. After saying that, he smiled at Zi Yue, turned around and left, not staying even a step. The elder's face paled. This is almost like a disguised refusal to become a guest elder. He won't come in the future. What is the point of being a guest elder? Pavilion Master Z, hurry up and persuade him. Aren't you on good terms with him? The elder was very anxious. Elder, he has already given me enough face by coming here to buy things again. Do you really think that Heavenly Rain building is the only place in such a big place? Sometimes, a missed opportunity is a missed opportunity. No matter what you do, there is no way to make up for it. Zi Yue sighed deeply. This is why she did not let Yi Tianyun stay. Coming here to buy things was already giving him enough face, otherwise he would not have stepped half a step in. The elder's intestines were green with regret. Weak foundation is bullsh***. If it really protected Yi Tianyun, there was no problem. Not to mention anything else, at least it could protect him temporarily, but at that time, they immediately cut all ties, not providing any protection at all. Is this the treatment of a guest elder? Chapter 116. Yi Tianyun and Liu Manglian quickly returned to Jade Palace. There was no problem during the whole process. In this area, Yi Tianyun's side is already the biggest force. Even second-level faction doesn't dare to provoke them easily. 3 major forces have been destroyed, and even uprooted. So far, no second-level faction has this kind of ability. Therefore, in a sense, although Jade Palace is not a second-level faction, but it has surpassed most second-level faction and become close to the existence of third-level faction. But this is just close. The power of third-level faction is far from comparable to second-level faction. Any random grade 3 force could easily crush a grade 2 force without the slightest pressure. Because to become a third-level faction, at least 3 or more Spirit Core Realm powerhouses and more than 10 Core Condensation Realm powerhouses are needed to meet the requirements of third-level faction. This is just the initial requirement. Of course, the number of powerful third-level faction is far more than this number. Even Core Transformation Realm cultivators are possible. If you want to become a 4th-level faction, the requirements are even more terrifying, but they have never been in this area, so they don't have any information. Next is to complete the main quest. With so many medicinal pills, I don't believe that I can't create a second-level faction. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed. Third-level faction is too difficult, but second-level faction is not a problem for him. Young master, we are about to return to Jade Palace. Liu Manglian said with a smile. Yi Tianyun nodded. After a while, they returned to Jade Palace, but they didn't go back to the gate. From a distance, they could see several luxurious feather carriages parked in front of the gate, and several restless giant eagles walking around, leaving deep footprints on the snow. This is a giant eagle. Liu Manglian exclaimed. She was shocked by this giant eagle. Yi Tianyun squinted at these luxurious feather carriages, and this giant eagle has the cultivation of 8th-level spirit refinement realm. It is relatively easy to tame a demon beast. Their greatest use was naturally their ability to fly. When they dragged a few carriages, their speed was many times faster than a horse carriage. As the name suggested, the feather carriage was filled with feathers and carved with divine runes, making the entire carriage light and sturdy. Looks like a certain faction has arrived. To be able to afford this feather carriage, It was definitely not an ordinary force. At the very least, a Grade 2 force did not have this ability. Just a giant eagle alone was extremely expensive, and it was not something that could be measured with gold. Immediately, he quickly rushed back to Jade Palace with Liu Menglian, and as soon as he got back, he heard people talking inside. Palace Lord Shu, please think about it carefully. As long as you join our profound Azure Mansion and become our subsidiary, you will be able to get a lot of benefits. We can even make you a branch of ours. In this sense, you're already equivalent to a third-grade faction. You can do whatever you want here. The voice that came was very arrogant, high and mighty. Although the content seemed to be discussing plans, it was more of a more forceful transaction. Inspector GE, I'm sorry, our Jade Palace does not want to become a subsidiary of your mansion for the time being. The current situation of Jade Palace, we all hope to maintain the original state, to maintain the foundation passed down by the old ancestor. Shi Xueyun politely refused. Inspector GE frowned. There were not many people coming, a total of 3 people, but each of them was at core condensation. Among them, Inspector GE's cultivation has reached 7th level core condensation, which is as strong as Shi Xueyun. Although his cultivation is the same, but he is stronger than Shi Xueyun. As the inspector of Qingxian Mansion, the martial arts he cultivates is certainly not low. Earth-level martial arts is extremely rare in 2nd grade faction, but in 3rd grade faction, the quantity is slightly higher, so it is not so scarce. Humph. Are you sure you want to refuse the invitation of a 3rd grade faction? Inspector GE was extremely dissatisfied. Others can't even beg for this invitation. We came here because we think highly of you. If you don't have our help, it is basically impossible for you to become a 2nd grade faction. Shi Xueyun raised her eyebrows. This is a bit too much. They can now see the future of Jade Palace. As long as they continue like this, they will certainly become a 2nd grade faction. It is not difficult at all. When she was just about to speak, Yi Tianyun's voice has already interrupted. I don't know why is it impossible. Yi Tianyun walked in with Liu Menglian, looking at Inspector GE. Sure enough, the stronger forces are all high and mighty, they simply look down on them. But the gap between the two is really huge. There are more than 10 core condensation cultivators, and even more spirit core cultivators. How can a 2nd grade faction compare? Inspector GE frowned and looked at him. He is very dissatisfied with his sudden interruption. Palace Lord Shu, are these your people? It's not polite to butt in. When Shi Xueyun saw Yi Tianyun came in, she smiled knowingly, and immediately said to Inspector GE, he is the elder of Jade Palace, he is qualified to discuss this matter. Elder of Jade Palace? Inspector GE frowned. He doesn't believe it. At such a young age he can sit in the position of elder. They just heard that Jade Palace is not bad, but they didn't fully understand the situation, so they don't know the situation of Yi Tianyun. Yes, I am the 4th elder of Jade Palace. I don't know why you said we can't promote to 2nd grade faction. Yi Tianyun said indifferently, I believe that it will not be long before we can promote to 2nd grade faction. This is not difficult. Yi Tianyun doesn't have a good impression of Qingxian Mansion. When the 3 major factions attacked, Qingxian Mansion completely cut off all relations. They will not help at all. At that time, he has already blacklisted Qingxian Mansion, although he didn't want to get involved, but since he chose to give up, now that Jade Palace is strong enough, they come to try to rope him in. Anyone would feel disgusted. Inspector GE is a bit unhappy with Yi Tianyun. Even if it is promoted to 2nd grade faction, the gap with 3rd grade faction is too big. If you want more resources, you have to join us. Our Qingxian Mansion has a lot of talented disciples. With your disciple combined, the bloodline born will definitely not be bad. Moreover, this is not the first marriage, but this time we are completely merged. We are not separated from each other. The power is bigger. There will not be any faction that will trouble you. Is that so? When the 3 major factions attacked, why didn't you help us, and now you want us to join? Yi Tianyun said coldly. Chapter 117. Qingxian Mansion chose not to support them when they were besieged by the 3 major forces. Inspector GE's face sank. He didn't feel embarrassed about this question, but he was a bit contemptuous. At that time, they didn't choose to support them, because the 3 major forces said that they will become subordinates of Qingxian Mansion in the future, so they will definitely choose to support them. They didn't expect the 3 major forces to be defeated, which made them re-evaluate Jade Palace. They didn't expect that a Jade Palace with only female cultivators would have such a strong force. There is nothing to say about this. At that time, you were too weak, so we abandoned you. Now that your strength is up to the standard, you can join us. Inspector GE said solemnly, if you want to join us, you are not qualified to join us if you are too weak. Now that your strength is up to the standard, you can join us. Don't you even know this rule? If your strength is too weak, do you think we will accept you? Don't be too naive, you are not a 3-year-old child anymore. His skin was just that thick. He spoke the truth and did not try to hide it at all. If your strength is too low, you will be abandoned, survival of the fittest, this is the principle. Inspector GE's words didn't surprise Yi Tianyun. This answer is normal, he just asked. Of course I understand this, but you are not qualified to join us if you are too weak. Don't confuse it with abandonment, thank you. Yi Tianyun responded, we want to be self-reliant, we don't want to join any sect, we want to rely on our own strength to support the entire Jade Palace. Many sects have their own rules, those who are too weak can't join, and those who are too weak can't join, basically the same principle. But they were abandoned, and now they still want to join, this is unreasonable. Yi Tianyun's words made the elders' eyes light up, they need this kind of words. If they are abandoned, they absolutely won't join, self-reliant is good, there is no need to join the sect that abandoned them. Jade Palace and Qing Shen Mansion have a good relationship, many disciples have successfully married with disciples of Qing Shen Mansion, but in the end, they simply ignore this relationship and choose to abandon them. Strictly speaking, it couldn't be considered as abandonment. After all, the two of them hadn't gotten together yet, but their relationship wasn't bad. If even this didn't help them, then there was no way that they would choose to join. Pa. Inspector GE applauded and looked at them contemptuously. What a self-reliant, supporting the entire Jade Palace by yourself. Do you think you're strong just because you've defeated 3 small second-rank forces? Any random third-grade force can annihilate all of you. All the elders were expressionless as they stared at him coldly. Could this be considered a threat? Any third-rank force can destroy us. But as long as we don't provoke them, nothing will happen to this remote place, Shueyun said calmly. Very good. Looks like you're refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Inspector GE's eyes were filled with murderous intent, then I won't waste any more time with you. We, the Profound Azure Mansion, want to control this area, so we need a sect that has absolute say in this area, and you are a very suitable sect. Now I'll give you a choice, either you absolutely obey us, so you can not only live, but also get more resources, or you can completely disappear from this world. Finally, after a lot of gentle talk, and after a lot of refusal, the dagger was revealed. The aura of the 3 instantly surged, all of them are at 7th or 8th level of core condensation, and this is only a part of the power of Qing Shen Mansion, not all of it. Elder's face changed, when they felt this aura, they couldn't help but step back a few steps. This aura is too strong, it's the same level as those old ancestors. His cultivation was lower than those old ancestors, but the aura that burst out of him was stronger than those old ancestors. The reason is very simple, this group of people are young enough, have more treasures, and cultivate more powerful martial art. Yi Tianyun looked at them indifferently, using appraisal eye to show their status. Inspector GE, 7th level of core condensation, wearing best grade spiritual armor, combat power 160,000. Weakness is wood attribute, can be restrained. Possible drops, transforming heaven palm, low-grade earth level martial art, netherworld step, low-grade earth level martial art, Inspector Fang, all 3 of their data appeared in front of Yi Tianyun, without using their martial art and weapons, their combat power has reached 160,000, if they take out their weapons, their combat power will definitely reach 180,000, or even 200,000. Sure enough, the level of a 3rd grade force is much higher than those old ancestors of 2nd grade forces. It seems that from the beginning, you have this idea, Shueyun said coldly. That's right, no matter what, you have to surrender to us. There's no other choice but to die. Originally, those 3 forces were going to merge into one force to help us rule this area, but I didn't expect you to wipe them out. I really didn't expect that your Jade Palace would have this kind of ability, It's really unexpected. Inspector GE sneered, if you refuse, then unfortunately, I will choose other forces, but from today onwards, Jade Palace will be destroyed, it will no longer exist. It seems that you are very confident that you can wipe out our Jade Palace? Shi Shuiyun expression is indifferent, without the slightest fear. During this time, her cultivation also advanced by leaps and bounds, breaking through to 8th level core condensation in one fell swoop. Inspector GE squinted at her and smiled. I know that you have a helper, it should be a peak core condensation cultivator, or even a strong cultivator who just broke through to spirit core rel. Our guess is that it was either your ancestor or some other helper. Otherwise, how could the 3 great forces be destroyed so easily? In that case, hurry up and call him out, let us see how strong he is. Several elders look weird, the person who destroyed the 3 forces is right in front of them. It seems that they don't know that Yi Tianyun is the strong cultivator who killed the 3 forces, they only heard that there is a super strong cultivator who helped destroy the 3 forces. But who is it? They are not sure, at least they don't think Yi Tianyun is the super strong cultivator, he looks too young. Shi Shuiyun is already very heaven-defying, it's impossible that Yi Tianyun is also so heaven-defying, right? After waiting for a while, the person didn't appear at all. Where is he, hiding and not daring to come out? Or have they already left this place? Inspector GE smiled contemptuously and said, looks like you're hiding in the dark like a coward. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so confident. Let me repeat myself. Either you surrender to us and obey our orders, or you will be completely obliterated. Of course, Palace Lord Shi has to go back with us. Our mansion lord specifically asked you to stay. With your talent, it's a very good choice to be our mansion lord's concubine. The offspring will definitely be a strong cultivator. Just as he finished speaking, a figure suddenly burst out and appeared in front of him in the blink of an eye. Pa. His whole body was sent flying by a slap. A large part of his face was swollen, his teeth were scattered on the ground, and his mouth was full of blood. Isn't your mansion lord a pig? Is he qualified to marry my aunt as a concubine? Damn it, let him go mate with other sows. Chapter 118. After slapping Inspector GE, Yi Tianyun couldn't help but curse. Wanting to marry Shi Shuiyun as a concubine was an insult to him. He couldn't even marry her as his legal wife, let alone a concubine. The status of a concubine was already low enough, and this was a great insult to him. Inspector GE was stunned by the slap, and he didn't even have time to react. He had been vigilant from the beginning, but he didn't expect that he couldn't be faster than this slap. The other 2 were dumbfounded. They didn't even have time to react, and Inspector GE was sent flying by the slap. As soon as he said he would make a move, he did it without any hesitation. The 3 elders behind him were dumbfounded, but it wasn't unexpected. The other party had been forced to this point, and if they were in his shoes, they would also want to make a move. However, Yi Tianyun's attack was too fast, unbelievably fast. How dare you insult our mansion master with such strength? Kill them. Inspector GE slapped the ground and jumped up. He quickly pulled out a top-grade spiritual sword, and when he was ready to fight, Yi Tianyun rushed over and slapped him again, sending him flying again. Kill who? Yi Tianyun looked at him coldly. You're quite arrogant, saying that your mansion master is a pig, and praising him. I feel that he's worse than a pig. Just because he has some ability, he thinks he's powerful. Inspector GE was slapped again, and all his teeth were gone. His mouth was full of blood, and it looked terrifying. You. Qingxian Mansion won't let you off. Slap. Qingxian Mansion won't let you off. You, slap. Inspector GE was slapped again, and he didn't even have the strength to fight back. The speed and strength were too strong, and 2 or 3 slaps were enough to make him dizzy, and he didn't have the strength to fight back. The other 2 inspectors rushed over to help, but Shi Shuiyun quickly intercepted them, and blocked them. An extremely cold aura collided with them, and both of them were pushed back. Pa. At this time, applause came from outside. A middle-aged man came in from outside and looked at them with a smile. You're worthy of being called a young hero, you have such cultivation at such a young age, you must be at core condensation stage 8th or 9th level, right? How can your Jade Palace have a male elder with such a strong cultivation? I don't know where he got this helper from, but he looks pretty good. The middle-aged man who walked in had a smile on his face. Judging from his attire, it was obvious that he was from the Qing Shen mansion. Elder Wei, Elder Wei. Inspector Ge hurriedly got up, but he looked rather disheveled, and his speech was unclear. Yi Tianyun looked up and the appraisal eyes quickly displayed detailed data. Elder Wei, second level of Spirit Core stage, wearing low-grade Soul Tool armor, Exploding Claw, mid-grade Earth level martial art, Dragon Cloud Step, low-grade Earth level martial art, etc. Overall combat power, 280,000. Its weakness was that it excelled in close combat, and long-range attacks could disrupt its formation. Possible drops: Exploding Claw, Dragon Cloud Step, 280,000 combat power, second level of Spirit Core stage. Even without the appraisal eyes, everyone can feel the oppressive power. The entire hall was shrouded by this power. They didn't even get close to the hall, but they already felt the pressure doubled. Shi Shuiyun's face slightly changed. Sure enough, they came prepared. The three major forces were eliminated, so it's impossible for three people to destroy the entire Jade Palace. No wonder Inspector Ge was so arrogant. He wanted to force the so-called strong man hiding in the dark to come out, and then come out to attack. But now, the so-called strong man hasn't come out yet, but Elder Wei has already been forced to come out. Elder Wei looked at Yi Tianyun, raised his hand and said, "If you have the ability, why don't you try to slap him again?" He released all his power, just to let everyone know that his cultivation has reached second level of Spirit Core stage. Mo Yu and Great Elder's face turned ugly. Although they were prepared for this, but when the real strong man of Spirit Core stage came out, their heart skipped a beat, and they felt the pressure doubled. Looking at Yi Tianyun, can they still deal with him? For them, Spirit Core stage is a legendary existence. So many old ancestors have spent their whole life to break through to Spirit Core stage. They all pinned their hope on Shi Shuiyun, only she has the chance to break through to Spirit Core stage. Of course, now there is Yi Tianyun, but he hasn't broken through to Spirit Core stage. How can they deal with him? Inspector Ge felt that with Elder Wei's support, he arrogantly looked at Elder Wei with disdain, thinking that with Elder Wei's help, who would dare to touch him? Touching him is equal to not giving face to Elder Wei. He is a strong man of Spirit Core stage. Come on, weren't you very arrogant just now? If you have the ability, then continue to hit me. Inspector Ge turned his face to the side, signaling Yi Tianyun to hit him. Pa! A crisp sound echoed in the hall. Inspector Ge was once again sent flying by the slap. After rolling several times, he coughed up a mouthful of blood. I have seen cheap people, but I have never seen such a cheap person. If you want me to hit you, then I will satisfy your wish. Yi Tianyun waved his hand, his eyes were full of contempt. This slap is really equivalent to slapping Elder Wei's face. The other elders are stunned. Facing a strong Spirit Core stage, how can he be so confident? Very good, it seems that you are quite brave. No matter who you are, you will die today. Elder Wei fiercely stomped on the ground, and a large piece of the hard ground cracked, like a dense spiderweb, spread out in all directions. In the next moment, it sprinted over at an extremely fast speed. It was like a gust of wind, or more like a soaring wind dragon, whistling as it charged over. Earth-level martial art, Dragon Cloud Step. It is unbelievably fast, they can't even see it clearly, even Shi Shuiyun can only see an afterimage. This is too fast, he didn't even use his full strength, but the power that burst out from his body has completely crushed them. While sprinting towards Yi Tianyun, his eyes were full of killing intent. He opened his big hand to grab Yi Tianyun's head, his eyes were full of killing intent. Tianyun. Shi Shuiyun didn't hesitate at all, her white dress fluttered slightly, and the next moment she flashed in front of Yi Tianyun, blocking the attack for him. The palace treasure burst out, the extreme cold surged out crazily, forming a domain in front of them that can freeze everything. Insignificant skill, get out of my way. Elder Wei's palm turned into a sharp claw, and with a hua sound, the whole domain was torn apart, as if it was a piece of paper, without any difficulty. This palm that turned into a sharp claw only aimed at Shi Shuiyun, it didn't change its direction. Shi Shuiyun's eyes narrowed, and a cold light shot out from her eyes. Just when she was about to block, a warm palm gently hugged her waist, and gently pulled her back. Like a feather, she floated in the air for a while, and then slowly fell down. When she got a clear look, she saw a figure covered in dragon scales going up to meet her. He raised his palm and slapped it down heavily. Pa. It was still the same crisp and melodious sound. Elder Wei was sent flying by the slap, and a few of his teeth were broken. Chapter 119. Yi Tianyun has never been afraid of arrogant people, because he is even more arrogant. So what if you are a spirit core stage cultivator? He can still kill you in second. With just one slap, Elder Wei was sent flying and several of his teeth were broken. If it wasn't for his high cultivation, his head would have been broken. Your face is really thick, you still didn't die from that slap. Yi Tianyun shook his hand. He used all his strength just now, but he only sent Elder Wei flying and his teeth were broken, but his head didn't explode. He had even activated his dragon god bloodline, so his violent power was several times stronger than before. His speed is even faster than Elder Wei. Inspector GE and the others were dumbfounded. Elder Wei's speed is not as fast as this kid. You dare to hit me, I will kill you. Elder Wei bellowed furiously and a pair of sharp claws appeared in his hands, which he equipped. There were very few people who would use claws as weapons, and Elder Wei was one of them. These claws were only low-grade soul tools. Just by looking at the 5-inch-long blades, one could tell how ferocious they were. If you are clawed hard, your whole body will be cut into several pieces. Even if it is just a scratch, a few pieces of flesh will be cut off. Yi Tianyun didn't fight empty-handed, but he used Frost Fist. He didn't dare to be careless. His opponent is a low-grade soul tool, and his cultivation is at spirit core stage. After using his full strength, his combat power soared to 300,000. Compared to the peak of core condensation realm, it is much stronger. It is absolutely a level of crushing. Gloves, I didn't expect you to use gloves. Using this kind of weapon in front of me is simply courting death. Elder Wei is already angry to the extreme. The slap just now completely infuriated him. In the next moment, he used Dragon Cloud Step again and rushed over. In a blink of an eye, he arrived in front of Yi Tianyun. He waved his claws and fiercely clawed towards Yi Tianyun. The sound of the claws cutting through the air echoed in everyone's ears. The flashing light even left a deep mark on the ground. Exploding claw. A series of sonic booms exploded in the air. The instant the hand reached out, its speed increased once again, reaching a terrifying level. Elder Wei intended to kill Yi Tianyun in one hit with this move. He would not hold back at all. His speed dazzled them. They couldn't even see him clearly. In the blink of an eye, he had already arrived in front of Yi Tianyun. Shi Shuiyun opened her mouth and wanted to shout, but she realized that her voice was probably not as fast as her opponent's attack speed. This astonishing speed caused Inspector GE and the others to smile knowingly. Enraging Elder Wei would only result in death. At this moment, a strange light flickered in Yi Tianyun's eyes. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and in the next moment, an ice domain appeared in the surroundings, causing Elder Wei's attack speed to drop drastically. Originally, Elder Wei's attack was just an afterimage, but now, everyone could see it clearly. Freeze. Bang. The effect of the Frost Fist instantly exploded, freezing Elder Wei who was rushing over. He was unable to move at all, just like an ice sculpture. In the next moment, Yi Tianyun raised his palm and slapped Elder Wei's face, sending him flying out of the room. Another slap sent him flying away. His teeth almost fell out. Just like how Inspector GE was treated previously, his teeth were all gone. Even his face was swollen beyond belief. After rolling a few times, Elder Wei's frozen body recovered, and he quickly jumped up from the ground. He looked at Yi Tianyun with eyes full of fear. Just now, he suddenly couldn't move, as if he was frozen. This was a terrifying thing for a life-and-death duel. Fortunately, Yi Tianyun didn't stab him, otherwise, he would definitely be dead. Of course, Yi Tianyun wouldn't end his life so quickly. He still wanted to experience the strength of a spirit core stage cultivator, so he could evaluate his future opponents. What? Didn't you say that you want to kill me? Yi Tianyun spread out his hands, and he thought about the effect of this weapon. At most, it would freeze him for 5 seconds. The higher the cultivation, the shorter the freezing time. Unfortunately, the effect of this weapon wouldn't increase with his cultivation, but with the grade of the weapon. If it increased with his cultivation, then it would be amazing. When the inspectors and elders saw this scene, they were dumbfounded. A spirit core stage powerhouse was slapped twice. If the first slap was too careless, then it was understandable, but the second slap was different. After Shi Xueyun saw it, she breathed a deep sigh of relief. Her heart was in her throat. She was afraid that Yi Tianyun would be torn into several pieces by the claws. What kind of evil martial art is this? Elder Wei said coldly. Is this important? Yi Tianyun had turned this question into his pet phrase. Every time he encountered this kind of situation, he couldn't help but ask this question. That was because it was too strange. It was a strange martial art that they had never seen before. That was why they were so shocked. Elder Wei's face was gloomy. He didn't expect that he, a spirit core stage cultivator, would be played by his opponent. What? Can't say anything? Then it's my turn to attack. Let's finish this quickly, don't waste time. Yi Tianyun's eyes narrowed, and he began to mobilize the power in his body. Crazy damage mode, activate. Crazy experience mode, activate. Boom. After activating the crazy damage mode, his power suddenly increased by 4 times, and his battle power showed an explosive increase. His original battle power of more than 100,000 was ruthlessly increased by 4 times, reaching 390,000 battle power. Because the armor and other things increased his combat power, the effect of the enhancement was on top of his original strength. The Dragon God bloodline also had the effect of quadrupling the damage, so the final superimposed damage reached 390,000. How much damage did his opponent do? Even after equipping his weapon, he only dealt around 300,000 damage. At most, he would deal 320,000 damage. But now, he had already dealt 390,000 damage. If his cultivation hadn't increased by 2 levels, he wouldn't have been able to surpass Elder Wei. The original basic damage was the most important. Without amazing cultivation, quadrupling the damage was futile. An explosive aura surged out in all directions in a tyrannical manner, engulfing everyone. A wave of horror surged from their hearts, and they all had the same thought at the same time. Spirit core stage cultivator. This aura was stronger than Elder Wei's. Didn't this mean that Yi Tianyun's cultivation had reached the spirit core stage? Chapter 120. Yi Tianyun's words are like thunder, exploding in their ears. Elder Wei and the others didn't expect that Jade Palace has an old ancestor who broke through to Spirit Core Realm, or some helper, but they didn't expect it to be this young man in front of them. He looks younger than Shi Xueyun, but his cultivation is far beyond Shi Xueyun. Monster, he was definitely a monster. This is impossible. You are so young. They were all shocked. He was about 17 years old, yet he had already reached the Spirit Core stage. How did he cultivate? The answer is certainly not cultivation, but killing monsters to level up. As long as there are enough monsters for him to kill, then he can level up instantly. There is no limit, no bottleneck. Nothing is impossible, Qingxian Mansion. Since Qingxian Mansion forced us to this step, then don't blame us for being ruthless. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed with cold light. He suddenly stomped his foot, and with a boom sound, he instantly exploded. His whole body seems to be assimilated into a dragon, rushing forward madly. His speed is a level faster than Elder Wei. Dragon God Secret Art, Second Style, Dragon God Fist. In an instant, he arrived in front of Elder Wei, and then smashed his fist. The violent fist turned into a dragon's head, fiercely biting down on Elder Wei. Elder Wei waved his sharp claws to attack Yi Tianyun, but compared to him, his speed is still too slow. The most important thing is that during the attack, the Frost Fist constantly releases the power of frost, greatly slowing down Elder Wei's attack speed. As long as Elder Wei's cultivation is not very high, then he will be firmly controlled. Boom! A heavy punch landed on Elder Wei's body. A red tyrannical aura turned into a huge dragon and penetrated through Elder Wei's body. Following that, Elder Wei was sent flying by the punch and smashed into the wall in the distance. Bang! After smashing into the wall, he slid down the wall. Everyone could see that his chest had caved in. Even though he was wearing armor, his body had still been pierced through by that overbearing punch. The wall that was smashed by him was almost pierced through. Dense cracks spread out from the place where he smashed, and one could feel the tyrannical power from it. Phut! He spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked like he was on the verge of death. A single punch had instantly killed him. If it weren't for the armor on his body, which helped to block a lot of the damage, his body would have already been punched through. You sure are tough. Yi Tianyun swung his hand. He had nearly punched Elder Wei to death. Activate Lucky Aura. Successfully activated Luck Aura, increasing luck by 10 times, consuming 100 crazy point per second. At this time, he activated Luck Aura. He didn't activate it before, because he had already upgraded it on the way back and spent 100,000 crazy points. He had successfully upgraded his Luck Halo to level 2, instantly increasing his luck by 5 times. This made him exclaim in shock that this was a scam. He thought that it would increase by 10 times, but he didn't expect it to only increase by 5 times, and the consumption is 100 crazy point per second. This kind of consumption really made him not dare to keep it on like before. Now that he activated it, his eyes became sharp. It's time to end this. Yi Tianyun stepped on the ground, and suddenly a long spear appeared in his hand. This is the Blood Fiend Divine Spear, and he aimed it at Elder Wei. If you kill me, Qingshen Mansion will not let you go. We will destroy your Jade Palace, we will destroy. He couldn't finish the rest of the sentence. Yi Tianyun's long spear has already penetrated his heart, and the violent blood fiend power engulfed his consciousness. Elder Wei's eyes widened, and all signs of life quickly disappeared, leaving behind only a corpse. Ding, successfully killed Elder Wei, gained 200,000 EXP, 5,000 crazy point. Obtained Martial Arts Exploding Claw, Dragon Cloud Step, Thunder Cloud Claw. Obtained Dragon Bone Divine Armor, Tyrant Dragon Claw, Quintuple EXP card, Blast Divine Pill. A lot of things burst out, and suddenly his eyes lit up. Although it doesn't look like a set, but it's definitely a good thing. All of them are Soul Tool level treasures, and there's even an Earth level martial art. After all, he is a Spirit Core Realm expert, so the things he drops will definitely not be too bad. After all, this is not the same as looting his storage ring. The things are not the same. Luck is really different, all the basic things are out, but unfortunately there is no reward for fighting a higher level opponent. Yi Tianyun shook his head. The opponent is at the 2nd level of Spirit Core Realm, but after killing him, there is no reward for fighting a higher level opponent. It can only be said that according to the system's judgment, this is not counted as fighting a higher level opponent, so there is no reward. Immediately, he turned his eyes and looked at Inspector GE and the others. Inspector GE and the others suddenly felt cold in their heart. They specifically asked for Elder Wei's help. They absolutely have the confidence to destroy Jade Palace, but they didn't expect that even Elder Wei is dead. And he was easily killed by Yi Tianyun, completely crushed by Yi Tianyun. This time they finally believe that the young man in front of them is the one who saved Jade Palace. His strength is beyond their imagination. What do you want to do? You killed our Elder Wei. I advise you to stop, otherwise, Mansion Lord will really destroy your Jade Palace. If you let us go, after we go back, we will ask Mansion Lord to let us go. Feeling Yi Tianyun's cold killing intent, Inspector G's legs trembled. The other two are also the same. This kind of cultivation is not something they can resist. They can only use Qingshen Mansion to suppress them. I don't know who just said, we are not 3-year-old children. How can we still ask such a childish question? Do you really think that if we let you go back, you will really plead for us and ask Mansion Lord to let us go? Don't be too naive. If we let you go back, in a few days, I am afraid that Qingshen Mansion will attack us, right? Yi Tianyun sneered, if I let you go back, you will die. If I don't let you go back, you will also die. Why don't you stay here and die with us? Inspector G's face changed. It seems that Yi Tianyun has no intention to let them go. No, if you let us go. Before he finished speaking, Yi Tianyun has already turned into a red light and pierced through Inspector GE. He doesn't want to talk nonsense with him anymore. Ding, successfully killed Inspector GE, gained 140,000 EXP, 3800 crazy point, obtained martial art transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, obtained treasure broken heaven sword, 100,000 experience pill. The things that dropped are relatively more, especially the experience card and experience pill. These are relatively rare to drop. But in general, they are not very strong elite, so the things that dropped are relatively limited. High cultivation does not necessarily mean that they are super elite, it must be those with extremely high status and power to drop particularly good things. This time it's your turn. Yi Tianyun turned his eyes and looked at Inspector Fang and the others, making them tremble in fear. Chapter 121. After Elder Wei died, they were destined to die. Since the strongest among them had been killed, the rest of them could only wait for death. Inspector Ge, in particular, was also pierced by the spear and died instantly. The violent power made their hearts tremble. If they knew that this was not Yi Tianyun's full strength, what would they think? We will not tell anyone. When Inspector Fang and the rest saw Yi Tianyun's demonic gaze, their hearts trembled. It was not easy for them to climb to this position. They did not expect to die here. How could they accept this? What's the point of saying this now? Don't waste my time. The next moment, Yi Tianyun completely ignored their pleas for mercy. He turned into a red light and rushed over, scaring them so much that they turned around and ran outside. At this time, Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand and a terrifying suction force swept out. Like a tornado, it sucked them over and stuck them on his palm. The absorbing star's great skill activated and extracted the spiritual energy in their bodies crazily, turning it into a lot of experience points. Previously, he had wanted to suck Elder Wei dry, but in the end, he chose to kill him in one move. It was to be safe. While he was absorbing, he could not attack. So, if he was attacked later, it would not be a good thing. Therefore, after killing Elder Wei, he wanted to properly absorb the experience and ruthlessly suck them dry. This process did not take long. In just a short while, they were completely sucked dry. There was not a bit of spiritual energy left in them. In total, he gained more than 700,000 experience points. On average, the two of them were worth more than 300,000 experience points. This was more experience points than killing them. This had always been the case. If he could suck them dry and then kill them, the experience points he would gain would be more. Qingxian Mansion, will not let you off, the two of them shouted weakly. They knew that they could not escape death. In the end, this was the only thing they could say. I've said it before. Even if Qingxian Mansion doesn't come looking for trouble with me, I will go looking for trouble with Qingxian Mansion. Yi Tianyun snorted coldly. Then, he swung his gun at them twice and activated his lucky halo. He didn't dare to keep it on for too long. This was definitely a life-threatening existence. Ding, successfully killed Patrol Inspector Fang, gained 160,000 EXP, 3600 crazy point, gained martial art transforming heaven palm, netherworld step. Ding, successfully killed Inspector Zhong, gained 160,000 EXP, 3600 crazy point, gained martial art transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, gained ancient heavenly spear, falling cloud boots. They had all repeatedly dropped martial arts, which meant that he already had 3 copies of the heaven transformation palm. However, the more the better, so he didn't care. These were all earth-level martial arts. If they were sold, they could fetch a good price. There would definitely be as many as there were. However, even with 10x luck, some of the items did not drop. This was just to increase the drop rate, and it wasn't a guaranteed drop. However, being able to obtain a martial art was already very good. Tianyun, did you break through to Spirit Core Realm? Shi Shuiyun and the others were still shocked. Elder Wei was killed by Yi Tianyun without any difficulty. It really made them dumbfounded. Before, he was still in core condensation, but in a blink of an eye, he reached Spirit Core Realm. How did he cultivate? They always wanted to ask, but they didn't dare to. Yi Tianyun's cultivation was much stronger than them, so they didn't dare to ask. As for Shi Shuiyun, as long as Yi Tianyun was fine, she would only be happy. No, I haven't broken through to Spirit Core Realm yet. Yi Tianyun said with a smile. What? Their expressions froze again. He hadn't even broken through to the spirit core stage, but he could already kill Elder Wei. What would happen if he broke through to the spirit core stage? What will happen if he breaks through to spirit core realm? Great Elder and the others looked at each other and saw the horror in each other's eyes. They thought that Shi Xueyun was the fastest to break through to spirit core realm, but now Yi Tianyun is the fastest, and he hasn't broken through to spirit core realm, but he can still kill a spirit core realm expert. This is the most shocking thing. But now it's even more troublesome. After Qing Shen Mansion learns about this, they will definitely attack. After killing Elder Wei, they suddenly felt relieved. Finally, this matter is over, but in fact, this is just the beginning. They killed 3 patrol envoys and an elder of Qing Shen Mansion. Qing Shen Mansion will definitely not let them go. If they don't destroy Jade Palace, they won't be able to calm their anger. What followed was naturally a deep sense of worry. For the time being, they can't send any information to the other side, but soon they noticed the problem. The people they sent haven't come back for so long, so there must be something wrong. This time they are silent. Yi Tianyun is very strong, but the power of Qing Shen Mansion is not so easy to deal with. Elder Wei is just one of the spirit core realm experts. There are more powerful ones. He can kill a 2nd level spirit core realm expert, but what about 5th or 6th level? Or even 7th or 8th level? There will always be a limit. It's impossible to fight a cultivator with higher cultivation. Qing Shen Mansion, for me, it's not difficult to destroy them. Yi Tianyun said solemnly. If someone else heard this, they would think that they are overestimating themselves. In the face of such a big Qing Shen Mansion, how can one person deal with it? But thinking that he can deal with the 3 major forces before, as long as he has enough time, destroying Qing Shen Mansion is not a problem. But do you have that much time now? We all believe that you can do it, but now you have time. The elder's attitude towards Yi Tianyun has changed completely. They all believe that he can do it. As long as he has enough time, everything will be different. There is something that I wanted to tell you, but I didn't say it until now. Now I can tell you. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes and said, "Come with me." They looked at each other, not knowing what Yi Tianyun wants to tell them. Shi Xueyun didn't ask anything. After she told Liu Manglian to go back, she followed Yi Tianyun. After they went out, they sat on the giant eagle and began to fly to heaven's immersing ancient ruins. It's not difficult to control, and the good things of Qing Shen Mansion belong to them. Is this the way to heaven's immersing ancient ruins? The elders immediately saw it. Yes, it's the way to heaven's immersing ancient ruins. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. This, could it be? The elders looked at each other. They already have a guess in their mind. There is only one reason to go to heaven's immersing ancient ruins when it is closed, that is, Yi Tianyun can open it. Chapter 122. Riding on the giant eagle, they soon arrived at the heaven's immersing ancient ruins. Fortunately, the giant eagles don't recognize anyone as their master, so whoever controls them can control their flight. That's why they were able to get here so quickly. Here we are. After Yi Tianyun came down from the giant eagle, he walked to the front of the heaven's immersing ancient ruins and waved his hand. The gate of the heaven's immersing ancient ruins lit up and began to slowly open. This scene stunned all of them. Although they were prepared for it, they were still shocked when they saw Yi Tianyun can control this place. What are you waiting for? Come in. Yi Tianyun took the lead and walked through the barrier. Shi Xueyun smiled slightly and followed him, easily passed through the barrier and entered the heaven's immersing ancient ruins. The other 3 elders also walked in. They didn't have any difficulty entering the barrier. Even the giant eagle was able to come in without any obstacles. We really came in. After they came in, they saw this familiar scene. They haven't been here for many years. They came here when they were young, and now they have reached this age. They couldn't help but sigh. Tianyun, how did you do this? Shi Xueyun asked. It's very simple. When I was looking for martial arts in front of the trial stone tablet, I finally obtained the inheritance of the entire heaven's immersing ancient ruins. I am now the inheritor of this place. Everything here belongs to me, or is controlled by Elder Xian. Yi Tianyun waved his hand. Elder Xian appeared in front of them, looking at them with a smile. The sudden appearance of a person startled them. when they saw it clearly, they found that it's not a real person, but an illusion. Young master, you've brought people in. Welcome. Elder Xian said politely. They all nodded. It seems that this place is not simple. The pressure that Elder Xian gave them is very strong. There are no treasures in this heavens immersing ancient ruins. As you saw before, everything has been looted. But as a place for cultivation and shelter, it is absolutely perfect. As long as we move all of our disciples here, it will be much safer than Jade Palace, and the cultivation environment here will be much better than Jade Palace, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. As long as we hide here, Profound Azure Mansion will never know where we are, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. But in this way, we will have to abandon Jade Palace. This is a difficult choice, but for now we can only compromise. Originally, Yi Tianyun only wanted to tell Shishueyun about this, so he can only say it in advance. He intends to let all disciples come in. This place is not only safe, but also has more cultivation places, which will greatly improve cultivation speed. But they have to abandon Jade Palace, which is their foundation, but if they don't do this, they will perish. Yi Tianyun didn't dare to say that he could destroy the Profound Azure Mansion as he didn't know how powerful the Profound Azure Mansion was. Moreover, there were so many of them that he couldn't deal with them in a short time. Hiding inside was undoubtedly the best choice. They didn't think for long and immediately nodded. This is indeed a difficult choice, but we have no other choice. The elders smiled bitterly as they shook their heads. Weak forces like them were merely puppets. It was the same for the other three powers as well. They were nothing more than puppets of the Qing Xian Mansion, and they wanted to make use of their strength to take over the area and gain control over it. The reason for this was very simple. It was for resources. If they compromise, the result is not good. In addition to becoming puppets, Jade Palace will be separated. It's impossible for them to let Jade Palace remain the same. They will definitely arrange a lot of people to enter Jade Palace. At that time, Jade Palace will no longer be Jade Palace, but a branch of Qing Xian Mansion. Compromising was just dragging out an ignoble existence. It was up to him which he would choose. If it was something like a subsidiary, they might be able to accept it if they didn't interfere with the management. Attaching to a big force would be of great help to them. But Qing Xian Mansion has completely infiltrated. At that time, all the female disciples will be forcibly combined with the disciples of Qing Xian Mansion. This is simply inhumane. But for Yi Tianyun, just forcing Shishueyun to be the concubine of the mansion lord of Qing Xian Mansion is already intolerable. Whether it's surrender or resistance, Shishueyun will be captured as a concubine. This undoubtedly completely angered him. Don't worry about this. Trees die when moved, people live when moved. I remember that the old ancestor of Jade Palace also came from the outside. There's nothing he can't do, and the environment of heaven's immersing ancient ruins is better than Jade Palace. Choosing a good place is the right way, Shishueyun continued at this time. When our strength is improved, no one will dare to do this to us. Their foundation is too weak now. When their overall cultivation is improved, then this kind of thing will not happen. The other elders nodded. This is the only thing they can do now. The saying of survival of the fittest is reflected in them. If you are too weak, you will be devoured. If you don't want to be devoured, you can only become stronger. Then the best thing to do now is to summon all the disciples and prohibit everyone from going out. With the current situation of heaven's immersing ancient ruins, there is no problem to accommodate everyone. Shishueyun said. The elders nodded. They want to summon all the disciples as soon as possible. Otherwise, when Qing Xian Mansion reacted, it will be too late. Immediately they began to prepare. At this time, Yi Tianyun said to Shishueyun, "Aunt, I have to go out for a while." "Where?" Shishueyun was startled. At this time, Yi Tianyun is still running around. It's dangerous outside. "I need to go out and practice. I can't break through if I stay here," Yi Tianyun said with a dignified expression. The heavens immersing ancient ruins is a good place, but it's impossible for him to break through. Although he can use the absorbing star's great technique to cultivate here, but if he drains all the spiritual power here, it's very easy for the heavens immersing ancient ruins to collapse. Last time he absorbed a little bit of spiritual power, but it's already gone. His goal is not to level up 1 or 2, but to level up more than 5 or 6. Without reaching the 5th or 6th level of Spirit Core Realm, how can he fight the enemy? Heaven's immersing ancient ruins great formation is already broken. If he continues like this, it will definitely collapse. With his current level, he can't repair it at all. He needs at least a 5th grade Divine Rune Master to repair it. His current level is far from enough. He hasn't even used it much, let alone repair it. Shi Xueyun was silent for a while, and finally can only sigh. Tianyun, she just gently called out Yi Tianyun's name, but couldn't say anything else. Aunt, don't worry, I will be back soon, you don't need to worry about my safety. At this time, Yi Tianyun took out the 100 transformation mask, put it on his face, and instantly changed his face. Look, who can recognize me? This is really amazing, this treasure is so magical. After Shi Xueyun saw it, her beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. She is worried about this. Yes, are you still worried that I will be recognized? Yi Tianyun smiled lightly. Chapter 123. Now that Yi Tianyun has the 100 transformation mask, Shi Xueyun is relieved. She is not as worried as before, but she is very sorry that Yi Tianyun has been busy. After letting Shi Xueyun feel at ease, Yi Tianyun began to refine tools and pills like crazy. He refined all the materials he obtained before and obtained a large number of weapons and pills, but he didn't give them to Shi Xueyun, he sold them all. Supreme Spirit Tool, selling price, 5,000 crazy point, do you want to sell? Sell. Third level pill, selling price 3,000 crazy point, sell? Sell. Best Spirit Tool, he sold all of them, not keeping a single one, just for the crazy point. Crazy point, I need a lot of crazy point. Yi Tianyun is going crazy, he wants to upgrade his Dragon God bloodline, or crazy mode, but it requires too much crazy point. For this reason, he sold all the weapons and martial arts he obtained before in exchange for crazy point. After clearing all of them, he investigated the data. Player, Yi Tianyun level, 30, 10th level core condensation, EXP, 298728 crazy point, prestige, 230, cultivation technique, Dark North divine art, Dragon God secret art, Shen Tian divine art ability, absorbing stars great technique, Blood Fiend soaring heaven weapon, Frost fist, Blood Fiend divine spear, endless sword, chaotic heaven sacred axe armor, divine armor, shadow cloak, chaotic heaven divine armor, chaotic heaven battle boots divine ability, crazy mode, luck aura bloodline, dragon god. Bloodline decoration, forging god hammer, power bracelet, power ring, power belt, blood fiend bracelet all items, 18 recovery pill, gift pack LV31, life X1, bad luck divine pill, 5 times EXP card, blast divine pill treasure, purple fire divine furnace title, guardian flame, immortal fire. Looking at the amount of experience required, he shook his head and smiled bitterly. When he breaks through to Spirit Core Realm, he will need more experience. Therefore, other than going to a more powerful place to kill demonic beasts and cultivate, there was no other way. There was one more thing, and that was equipment forging and alchemy. To be honest, he had always thought about this, but it was impossible. First of all, the materials were not endless. It would take a long time before a new batch of materials could be obtained. Moreover, the experience gained was not particularly great. Unless he had a huge pile of materials to refine, waiting for materials to be used to refine and upgrade his equipment wasn't worth it at all. The situation at the Qing Xian mansion was already very urgent. How could he wait for the materials to be refined? Level up, Dragon God bloodline, ding, successfully deducted 10,000 crazy points, successfully upgraded Dragon God bloodline to level 3. The next grade, Dragon God bloodline, requires 500,000 crazy point. In an instant, he lost 100,000 crazy points. This was the price he got after selling 20 best grade spirit tools. In fact, he didn't have enough materials to make 20 best grade spirit tools. Only 200,000 crazy points left. I can't upgrade anything. Yi Tianyun shook his head, his eyes flashed. He already had a plan in his mind. It seems that I can only buy 10x EXP card, as long as 500,000 crazy points. I can buy almost 4 of them. As long as I kill demonic beasts, then the level will definitely rise crazily. Immediately, he opened the merchant shop and selected 3 10x EXP card in a row, and then chose to buy it. Unexpectedly, when he clicked on it, a message popped up. Not enough crazy points to buy the third one, please choose again. What? Yi Tianyun's eyes widened. 50,000 crazy points for a 10x EXP card. He had almost 200,000 crazy points, but he can't even buy 3? After he chose 2 again, he bought them, but he only had nearly 500,000 crazy points left. At this time, the price of 10x EXP card on the item column has been stacked to 150,000 crazy points to buy one. What the hell is this? Yi Tianyun was shocked. He thought he could buy 3, but now he found out that he was too naive. The price will still rise. He checked the note. Consumables, buy 1 will double the price, no limit. Isn't this a scam? Yi Tianyun wanted to curse. This means that after buying the third one, the fourth 10x EXP card will need 200,000 crazy points. He knew that when he kills monsters in the future, he will definitely get a lot of crazy points, but for now, it is undoubtedly a scam. Forget it, I will buy other multiples of EXP card, and buy crazy points card. It is really a scam. Yi Tianyun shook his head. Without crazy points it is really difficult to move forward. At this time, all the disciples of Jade Palace have finished moving. When they know that they can freely enter and exit heaven's immersing ancient ruins, they were shocked. A place they dreamed of. They will live here in the future. How can they not be shocked? At this time, it is also time for Yi Tianyun to leave. He stayed here to see if there will be any changes. He is not in a hurry to leave. Now that Jade Palace has finished moving, it is time for him to leave. Aunt, I have to go. I will be back soon. The control of this place has been transferred to you, so you are equivalent to the second owner. Yi Tianyun can give the control to Shi Shuiyun, but he is still the main controller, just one more controller. Well, you must be careful. Shi Shuiyun looked at him with her beautiful eyes. She wanted to say a lot, but she couldn't. Yi Tianyun nodded. After looking at her for the last time, he turned and disappeared into the distant forest. Shi Shuiyun stared for a long time. She doesn't know how long she stood at the door, and finally went back with some reluctance. After saying goodbye, Yi Tianyun went straight to another area, Heavenly Border Continent. The place he stayed before is called Earthly Border Continent. However, the area he stayed in is only a small part of it, but the forces are generally at the peak of second level. There is basically no third level force. Heavenly Border Continent is different. It is more vast, has more forces, and more abundant resources. Qing Shen Mansion is here, but it is only one of the forces. There are many more powerful forces here. His purpose here is relatively simple, that is to kill Demon Beast. He does not intend to join any sect, he just came here to kill demon beasts. Different areas, the level of demon beasts that exist is basically the same. With his current cultivation, he doesn't know how many demon beasts he needs to kill to level up. Even if he has the patience to kill demon beasts, there is not enough demon beasts for him to kill. Chapter 124. Yi Tianyun rode the black dragon and flew straight to the heavenly boundary continent. He flew at the fastest speed. Finally, after flying for a few days, he saw a sea. On the other side of this sea was a brand new continent. That is the heavenly boundary continent. It really seems like the name. It has the feeling of the heavenly boundary continent. There is a light in the sky covering this area, bathing the entire continent. This looks like a miracle, but many people don't know what is going on. But one thing they know is that the cultivation environment of the heavenly boundary continent is much better than that of the earthly boundary continent. If you want to go to the heavenly boundary continent, you have to cross this sea. It's not difficult, you just need to take a ship to cross. It's just that if you go there, the competitive environment is even worse, so many sects can't bear it and finally choose to move to the earthly boundary continent. Among them, Jade Palace seems to be moved from the heavenly boundary continent. This seems a bit wasteful, but in a world like a battlefield, without a strong cultivation, it's really impossible to survive. Because of this, the heavenly boundary continent didn't have any first-grade forces. The worst ones were second-grade forces, and these second-grade forces were very strong. It was necessary to have a spirit core expert, otherwise, they wouldn't be able to survive here. Because Yi Tianyun has a black dragon, he can easily cross this sea without a ship. It's just that this black dragon flying in the sky is really dazzling. Look, that's a black dragon. Yes, it's really a black dragon. I didn't expect someone can use a dragon as a mount. This is incredible. How did he do it? The person riding on it seems very young. When the cultivators who crossed the sea on a ship to the heavenly boundary continent saw the black dragon in the sky, they were all shocked. This is a rare scene, absolutely impossible to see. Yi Tianyun, who is riding on the black dragon, completely ignored their gazes. He knows that if he wants to cross this sea, he must fly or take a ship. However, the time needed to travel by ship was too long, at least a few days. He only needed a short day to cross the entire sea. This was all thanks to the black dragon's astonishing flying speed, which was much faster than the giant eagle. He didn't want to waste time here. He guessed that the Qingxian mansion would only take 2 to 3 months to attack. This meant that he only had 2 to 3 months. 3 months was the limit. By the time they realized that something was wrong, a long time had passed. After all, the Qingxian mansion was located in the heavenly boundary continent, which was quite far away. Even if they rode a giant eagle, it would take them more than a week to get there. Plus, since he is hiding in the heavens immersing ancient ruins, no one will be able to find him for a while, so he still has some time, at least 2 or 3 months. However, he had given himself a time limit of 3 months. No matter what his cultivation level was, he had to return as soon as possible. Heaven's immersing ancient ruins is too dilapidated. Under the crazy attack, it might really break. Because he was wearing the 100 transformation mask, he didn't have to worry about being recognized, so he rode the black dragon to his heart's content. Riding on the black dragon, he soon arrived at the opposite heavenly boundary continent. As soon as he entered the area, Yi Tianyun immediately felt a strong spiritual power rushing towards him. The spiritual power here is quite strong, at least 2 or 3 times stronger than in the earthly boundary continent. This is enough to shock people. No wonder there are so many strong cultivators here. Just by staying here, the cultivation speed is several times faster than in the earthly boundary continent. And this is just the most ordinary place. If it's a better place, the effect will be absolutely amazing. No wonder so many people came to the heavenly boundary continent. The cultivation environment here is really good. Yi Tianyun nodded. He felt that this place is indeed very suitable for cultivation. Although it's not as good as the spirit gathering formation in the heavens immersing ancient ruins, it's a lot closer. At least it's a blessing for ordinary cultivators. For this reason, many people from the earthly boundary continent came to the heavenly boundary continent to explore. It is precisely because there are too many cultivators here, so there are more conflicts, suitable for those extremely radical cultivators. Compared to here, the earthly boundary continent is a bit more gentle, but the cultivation speed is much slower. Soon after, he surveyed his surroundings and saw a city in the distance. After which, he found a remote place and landed. After which, he changed his expression and swaggered towards the nearest city. No one recognized him now, so there's no pressure to walk around. Because he came to this area for the first time, he didn't know where the most monsters were. He could only come here to inquire about the most dangerous place with many monsters. He wanted to go straight to that kind of place, otherwise, leveling up in other places is too slow. Unless he goes crazy here and kills people he sees, then his level will definitely soar. But he won't do that. Although he is not a good person, he is definitely not a murderous maniac. It is completely not in line with his state of mind. Soon, he came to the nearest city. There are several guards outside the gate. All of them are above the 3rd or 4th level of spirit refinement realm. As long as a cultivator comes in, they will immediately collect money. Tianqin City. Yi Tianyun looked up at the huge city gate. 3 big characters are deeply engraved on it. The person who can engrave these characters is definitely a strong cultivator, at least above the spirit core realm. Wait, are you new here? You can go in after paying 10 gold. The guard stared at the new cultivator and pointed to the sign next to him. Don't you see this sign? If you want to go in, you have to pay 10 gold. The cultivator's face is bitter. His cultivation is only at the body refinement realm, so he doesn't have much money on him. 10 gold is not a small amount. but if he wants to go in, he can only pay. Soon it is Yi Tianyun's turn. He took out 10 gold and put it on the side, then he can go in and out at will. As long as you come out and then go in, you have to pay 10 gold again. This is equivalent to protection fee. After entering, it is equivalent to being protected by the city. After entering, you can't fight at will, you can't rob, you will be severely punished. There are no rules, so this is equivalent to a novice city, protecting the newcomers. This place is closest to the sea, which means that the cultivators who come here are from the Earth boundary continent, so their cultivation is basically not high. Tianjin City is undoubtedly a very good choice. You can cultivate here, you can also find things to do here, improve your cultivation and then go to other places. Chapter 125. After Yi Tianyun entered, he saw a bustling street. There was an endless stream of cultivators coming and going, and many of them did not have high cultivation. For them, this place was simply heaven. Compared to the outside, this place was much safer, but without money, it would be impossible to stay here. If you want to enter and exit this place without paying any fees, it is actually relatively simple, that is to become a resident of Heavenly New City. This is done by joining Heavenly New City. The conditions are relatively simple, that is to help Heavenly New City complete tasks. For example, picking spirit herbs, hunting demon beasts, or searching for evil people. As long as you complete a lot of tasks, you can get contribution points. When you reach a certain amount, you can exchange it for permanent residency, and other things. It can be said that it is similar to money, you can exchange it for anything. As long as you have enough contribution points, it is not a problem to exchange for an Earth-level martial art, but the number of contribution points required is relatively high. However, Yi Tianyun does not need to care about this, he needs to understand the surrounding information. He went straight to a shop, threw out a gold ingot, and said indifferently, "Give me the detailed information of Heavenly Boundary Continent." When the shopkeeper saw the gold ingot, his eyes lit up. "Very well, please wait a moment." With that, he immediately turned back to the house and took out all the miscellaneous books, which recorded the most detailed situation of the Heavenly Borders continent. Yi Tianyun took it and flipped through it. There is indeed a lot of content. Generally, all aspects are marked, such as the forces, the surrounding danger zones, all are marked one by one. The price is relatively moderate, suitable for those cultivators who have just arrived. After reading for a while, Yi Tianyun frowned. It is true that the danger zones are marked in general, but the detailed content is very little, almost skipped over. This is like saying that a knife is very sharp, but it does not say who made it, what material is used, how much is the price. The detailed content is too little. If you go there, it is dangerous, but without a demon beast that matches your cultivation, it would be a wasted trip. "Shopkeeper, do you have any details about the danger zone?" Yi Tianyun asked. "I don't have that. For more details, you can only go to the Star Pavilion. You can buy all the information you need there." The shopkeeper rubbed his palms together, his face filled with respect. The things that Yi Tianyun wanted were only a few taels of silver, but he gave him an ingot of gold. How could he not be respectful? Star Pavilion, huh? Looks like I can only go there. Yi Tianyun didn't know before, but now he understood the situation. The status of Star Pavilion here is similar to that of Rain House. They sell all kinds of things and information. Here, you can buy all the news about the Heavenly Boundary Continent, even accurate information about a certain cultivator. Of course, the cultivator had to be valuable, such as the one on the wanted list. Only then would the Star Pavilion pay attention to him. As long as the price was high enough, they would give accurate information. They would definitely not cheat people. The Star Pavilion had branches all over the Heavenly Boundary Continent, unlike the Heavenly Rain Pavilion, which had branches, but only in a few cities. This Star Pavilion is powerful, it is equivalent to a force, it belongs to the top of the third-grade forces, no one dares to provoke it. It is because of such a strong force that they dare to open these treasure pavilions, otherwise, in remote places, they would be robbed. Shortly after, he turned around and walked to the entrance of the Star Pavilion. Looking at the towering pagoda in front of him, he felt a sense of pressure. Whether it was the decorations or the materials used, they were all relatively wild, dark steel. A material that can be used to forge an upper-grade spirit tool was used to build the whole pagoda. It can be described as rich and overbearing. Not only in Heavenly New City, but also in other cities, it is a symbol of the Star Pavilion. This pagoda is equivalent to a fortress. As long as the door is closed, as long as the cultivation is not very high, no one can break in. Is this the Star Pavilion? Why not call it Star Tower? Yi Tianyun smiled and stepped inside. As soon as he entered, the guards stared at him. Their cultivation is at 8th level spirit refinement realm. However, after sizing him up for a while, he ignored him. After entering, he can see a strong core condensation realm cultivator walking in this first floor. As one of the stewards here, he is responsible for the safety of this place. Yi Tianyun couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, in this area, it is easy to see people with high cultivation. I don't know how I can help you. The female cultivator next to him greeted him with a smile. As long as a guest comes in, they must greet them with the best smile. Their cultivation is not high, only at 1st level spirit refinement realm. In the 1st grade forces, they are already worthy of training, but here, they can only serve as a receptionist. This is the gap between regions. Generally, when the cultivation is not low, the level is a level higher. Yi Tianyun glanced at the 1st floor. There are a lot of good materials, but he doesn't have much interest now. I want to buy information. Yi Tianyun said directly. Yes, please come with me. The female cultivator took him upstairs. After walking to the 3rd floor, she took him to the innermost part. There is an old man sitting there with his eyes closed. Even when they walked in front of him, he didn't wake up. Deacon Huang, there is a guest. The female cultivator whispered. Deacon Huang woke up, and as soon as he opened his eyes, he looked directly at Yi Tianyun, and after a moment, he smiled. Good boy, you're so young, yet you hide your strength. It seems that you're new to Star Pavilion, right? Why do you say that? Yi Tianyun said. Deacon Huang's cultivation is also not low, he is at 5th level core condensation, which is relatively high. Although I can't see how strong your cultivation is, I can vaguely feel that you have a sense of pressure. Although your aura is very weak, I can still feel a little bit. You're so young and your cultivation isn't bad, you're definitely on the list. Unfortunately, I don't have your memories, so you're probably not from Heavenly Boundary Continent. Deacon Huang smiled. Am I right? In just a short while, Xiao Chen was able to see some clues. It seemed that this stellar pavilion was really something. Is it important? Yi Tianyun smiled indifferently and didn't answer the question. I came here to buy information. Where is the most dangerous place with the most demon beasts, and the cultivation level can't be too low, at least core condensation level. Chapter 126. Yi Tianyun doesn't care what Deacon Huang thinks. Anyway, as long as he goes out, he can change his face without any pressure. Deacon Huang squinted his eyes and looked at Yi Tianyun. He has to say that this news is quite impactful. Specifically looking for a dangerous place, and looking for a core condensation cultivator, it must be to hunt demon beasts. It seems that this friend is planning to hunt demon beasts. Deacon Huang's eyes flashed with interest. I can give you this news, but now I have two options for you. The first option is to hunt demon beasts. As long as you sell them to us, we will give you a good price, and the information fee will be free. The second option is 1,000 gold, we will give you the information directly. Compared to this, I prefer to cooperate with you. The price is absolutely advantageous. I think you know the situation of Star Pavilion, we will definitely give you a good price. It just so happens that we are short of a batch of demon beasts. If you can provide it to us, that would be great. No problem, but I only need materials in exchange, not gold. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. He doesn't hate this kind of condition. Anyway, he is going to kill demon beasts, so collecting the corpses is just a matter of convenience. Deal. Yi Tianyun immediately agreed. This is equivalent to an extra task, why not accept it? Successfully accepted hunting demon beasts task, hunting 100 core condensation demon beasts, reward 500. 000 EXP, 10,000 gold, 10,000 crazy point, 10 lottery tickets, Star Pavilion favorability increased by 100. A task suddenly popped up, it's a side task, it makes his eyes light up, he needs this kind of task. Especially if he can build a good relationship with Star Pavilion, this is even better. Star Pavilion has amazing power, it's naturally good to have a good relationship with them. To be honest, there are few places where demon beasts gather, especially those above core condensation. After all, the higher the cultivation of the demon beasts, the more they don't like to live in groups. This time I just got the latest news, that is in the Devil Sea Danger Zone, Deacon Huang said. Devil Sea Danger Zone? Yi Tianyun frowned. There are a total of 5 danger zones in Heavenly Border Continent, one of which is Devil Sea Danger Zone, but the danger level is at least top 3. The main reason was that it was seawater, and it was impossible to fly in the first place. Even if one's cultivation was not bad, one would not be able to move freely in the sea, making it even more difficult. Don't tell me those demonic beasts are all in the sea. This is not an easy task. Yi Tianyun did not like to hunt demonic beasts in the sea. It was not a good thing. He couldn't go on a killing spree in the sea. It was too difficult. Even with the black dragon, it wouldn't be easy to deal with them. Of course, it's impossible. If you don't have a core transformation stage cultivation, you won't be able to kill the demon beasts in the sea at will. Deacon Huang said sullenly, I'm talking about the demonic cloud island in the demonic sea. I don't know what's going on, but a group of demonic beasts suddenly appeared there. They all climbed up from the bottom of the sea and gathered together. Their cultivation ranges from spirit refinement realm to core condensation realm. However, we can only observe it from afar. As for the details, we are not too sure. We cannot rule out the possibility of an existence with a higher cultivation. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. As long as there were a lot of them, it would be more meaningful to use the 10 times EXP card. Deacon Huang said in a deep voice, but the demonic sea is very dangerous. Most people can't fly, so it's even more dangerous to go there by boat. Maybe they will die on the way before they reach the destination. This is the general information. At present, only this information is consistent. There are other powerful demonic beasts, but you said that there are a lot of them gathered together. That's enough. This information is very good. This is what I need. Yi Tianyun was very satisfied. This kind of information can't be obtained from normal channels. Because the demonic sea is extremely dangerous, normal cultivators can't go there, so it's impossible to know the information there. It's good that you're satisfied, but this is very dangerous. Are you sure you want to go? If it's just to hunt demonic beasts, I have a few here. Deacon Huang's eyes narrowed. Yi Tianyun's answer made him even more confused. No need, this is it. Yi Tianyun smiled and said, I plan to go to the demonic cloud island to hunt demonic beasts. Your star pavilion doesn't plan to carefully explore or hunt those demonic beasts. Our star pavilion is very powerful, but we're not willing to go everywhere, especially this kind of dangerous place. If we're not careful, a few deacons or elders will lose their lives. This is not a cost-effective thing. Deacon Huang smiled and said, we just need to provide information, we don't care about anything else. Has anyone bought this information? Yi Tianyun squinted and asked. I can't tell you about that. Deacon Huang smiled in a professional manner. Yi Tianyun smiled and didn't force anything. Then do we need to sign something? Yi Tianyun asked. No need, you've already signed a verbal agreement with me. All the demonic beasts you hunt will be sold to us. Of course, you can keep some for yourself, but you can't sell it to other forces except us. Once you sell it, you'll be in violation of the rules and will be completely blacklisted by our star pavilion. We will not sell anything to you in the future. If you can hide the information from us, you can sell it to us. Deacon Huang smiled and said confidently. Star Pavilion's collection of information was top-notch, so if Yi Tianyun sold the demonic beasts, he would definitely be blacklisted. However, Star Pavilion would not eradicate Yi Tianyun because of this. They would only blacklist him and never allow him to enter. As one of the top treasure pavilions in Heavenly Border Continent, if Star Pavilion was blacklisted, many treasure pavilions would not be able to enter, which would be a big loss. Don't worry, since I've promised, I will do it. Yi Tianyun smiled and said. I believe you. Deacon Huang said, then what do you need us to provide, such as a ship, or something else? That's not necessary, just provide me with a general route. Yi Tianyun said. This is a must, I'll give you the corresponding accurate information now, you can take a look at it carefully. Deacon Huang stood up and walked into the room behind him. Soon, he came out with an astrolabe in his hand. This astrolabe allowed him to see the relevant routes. After receiving the astrolabe, Yi Tianyun read the information inside. Sure enough, it was a very detailed map, even the entire heavenly border continent was included in it. Among them, there was a shining bright spot outside the heavenly border continent, that was Devil Cloud Island. That's Devil Cloud Island, just follow this route. Deacon Huang smiled and said, Good, then I'll accept it, wait for my news. Yi Tianyun put away the astrolabe and turned to leave. Young master, wait a minute, how many people are you going with? Deacon Huang asked. No, I'm alone. Chapter 127. After Yi Tianyun left, he went straight to the Devil Cloud Island. After leaving quickly, someone immediately flashed out of the Star Pavilion and stared at Yi Tianyun's figure, and then quickly followed him. But when he went out of the gate, he found that Yi Tianyun had disappeared. What's the situation? He disappeared. The cultivator who was responsible for tracking Yi Tianyun's situation was stunned. In a blink of an eye, Yi Tianyun disappeared. He didn't know where he went. He patted his thigh and said in distress, It seems that when I go back, I will definitely be scolded. Yi Tianyun was alone, so Deacon Huang must investigate to see if he was acting alone. He didn't expect him to disappear as soon as he came out. How could he not be distressed? Deacon Huang, the young master is gone, I lost him. The guard who came back lowered his head, his face was full of guilt. It's okay, it's normal for you to lose him. His cultivation is unfathomable, I can't accurately sense how strong he is. But since he has the courage to go to the Devil Cloud Island, his cultivation must not be bad. Deacon Huang waved his hand and said, This is not your fault, you can go now. The guard finally heaved a sigh of relief and immediately retreated. Deacon Huang's eyes flashed a few rays of light. I don't know where that kid came from, I don't know if he really went to the Devil Cloud Island alone. Although the Star Pavilion happened to be short of demon beasts, it doesn't mean that they will send people to hunt them, because the price is too high. At least a lot of core condensation cultivators or spirit core cultivators must be organized. If they didn't have any treasures, it wouldn't be worth it to just go hunting. The demon beast's body can be used as alchemy materials, or forging materials, it can also be sold to others for a high price. But for them, there is no need to collect these things themselves, it is enough to rely on acquisition. Outside the city gates, Yi Tianyun naturally sensed that someone was following him as he walked out. However, he paid no attention to it as he activated stealth and disappeared into a corner. After walking out of the city gate, he found a remote corner and summoned the Black Dragon. He rode the Black Dragon and flew towards Devil Cloud Island at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, it soared to the limit. Like a sharp arrow, it shot forward at an extreme speed, leaving a black shadow in the sky. It should be roughly in this direction. Yi Tianyun checked the astrolabe. He had been flying for 2 days and was only halfway there. If they were to sail slowly, it would take at least half a month to reach their destination, and the journey would be even more dangerous. Assuming there was no danger, the round trip would take more than a month. If there was no Black Dragon, he would definitely not accept this mission. In fact, compared to this, he wanted to kill his way to Qingxian Mansion, but his cultivation is not high enough. If he went there and was surrounded, it would be a dead end. When he was about to continue flying towards Devil Cloud Island, he suddenly saw a large ship surrounded by more than a dozen ships on the seashore in the distance. These ships were all small, but they were being towed by sky sharks. Those who can subdue demon beasts like flying sharks must not be simple. Hee, boss, there are several beautiful girls on the ship. This time, we can eat meat again. We didn't play enough last time, and this time, they are obviously more beautiful. The pirate next to him smirked and looked at the female cultivators on the ship with pale faces. He licked his lips as if he had encountered a delicious meal. Not bad, this batch looks really good, and the quality is even better. It seems that this is a good sect. Bai Yundao looked at the cultivators on the ship, his eyes flashed with a bit of sinister light, and immediately said to the cultivators on the ship, I advise you to surrender, do you think you can fight us here? This sea region is our world. He wasn't spouting nonsense. With the help of the flying sky shark, they could swim freely in the sea without having to worry about encountering anything. The cultivators on the ship are pale, their cultivation is not high, basically, they are at 7th or 8th level of spirit refinement, and the strongest is at 3rd level of core condensation. But compared to the pirates on the opposite side, there are 3 core condensation cultivators. Moreover, they can control a large number of flying sharks. This gap is simply incomparable. We are all from Heaven's top mansion. I advise you to leave quickly, otherwise, don't blame our sect leader for coming after you. One of the male disciples shouted loudly, but his voice is not full of confidence. Heaven's top mansion? Bai Yundao sneered. That broken sect, and you call it mansion? It's not even as good as a 2nd-level faction, and you call it mansion. Deacon Chen, what should we do? One of the beautiful women in yellow clothes asked with a pale face. They could all imagine what would happen to them if they were captured. The rest of them are the same, they are looking at Deacon Chen, who has the highest cultivation, to see what he can do. This time, they came out to train, they are planning to wander around this area. Although this is the sea, it is not close to the Devil Sea, so it is still safe, but they didn't expect to encounter a group of pirate. Generally speaking, it is rare to encounter pirates, but this time, they met a lot of them. Deacon Chen's expression is indifferent, he did not panic at all, instead, he looked at them and said, "Surrender, this is the best way." What? The female disciples on the ship suddenly turned pale, they thought they will have to fight to escape, but they did not expect that Deacon Chen did not even resist and let them surrender. Deacon Chen, what are you talking about? One of the male disciples stood up and said angrily, Deacon Chen, even if we die, we have to fight. We can't let them do what they want, we will die anyway. In addition to this male disciple, the rest of the male disciples have a high awareness, if they are captured by these pirates, their fate is no different from death. That being the case, it is better to fight, this way, they may have a chance to survive. Deacon Chen suddenly moved. He rushed in front of the male disciple and fiercely kicked him. With a peng sound, the male disciple was kicked flying. He looked up to the sky and spat out a mouthful of blood before sinking to the bottom of the sea, no longer able to float. Since you want to die, then die first. Deacon Chen looked at the other disciples coldly and said, Now, who else refuses to surrender? Old Chen, why are you in such a hurry? We haven't played enough, scare them, this is fun. Bai Yundao smiled, his eyes are full of ridicule. Chapter 128. Deacon Chen, how can you betray us? They glared at Deacon Chen, their faces are pale, they didn't expect that Deacon Chen, who led them here, is actually colluding with these pirates. Deacon Chen looked at their shocked expression, and then immediately changed into a grim expression. He sneered and said, Heaven's top mansion is finished, we don't have resources, we don't have status. If I continue to stay there, how long will it take for me to break through to Spirit Core stage? I don't want to stay in that damn place anymore, it's better to go with Brother Bai. In this sea, even Qing Shen Mansion doesn't dare to break in, it's safer than anywhere else. Deacon Chen personally admitted that he colluded with the pirates. This news undoubtedly has a great impact on them. But they have to admit that what he said is the truth. Heaven's top mansion has declined, it's not even comparable to ordinary second-grade forces, they have very few resources, it's really hard for them to break through to core condensation. No wonder you propose to take us out to gain experience, in fact, you want us to be captured. The yellow-clothed woman is the highest cultivation level, her name is Yang Shishue, and she has the highest status among them, it seems that she doesn't want to surrender. Yes, you have the highest cultivation level, the best talent, of course, I brought you here. Deacon Chen's face is grim, looking at Yang Shishue from head to toe, he said, Little girl, you are the most delicate, as long as you follow me, I promise I won't let them touch you. Yang Shishue's face is pale, she clenched her teeth and said, Get out of here, you traitor, even if we die, we won't let you succeed. After she finished speaking, she took out her sword and placed it across her neck. The other female disciples followed suit and took out their swords. When they were about to commit suicide, Deacon Chen's eyes and hands were already sharp. He snatched the other's sword and slapped it, causing Yang Shishue to fall to the ground. Want to commit suicide, too naive. Deacon Chen's eyes are cold, what are you waiting for, do it. At this time, a few of the male disciples in the group suddenly moved. They attacked their female companions, snatching the swords from their hands and stopping them from committing suicide. "Senior sister, why are you in such a hurry? You haven't even had a good time with us." They laughed evilly. The traitors were not only Deacon Chen, there were also a few male disciples. "That's a wise move. If you follow us, you'll definitely have a good life. Don't worry, we will treat you well. You still have to give birth to our descendants." Bai Yundao smirked. Their faces became even paler. They would rather die than marry these pirates. Huang Xiong, how could you do this?" The rest of the male disciples who didn't betray pointed at them in anger. They were so angry that their hands were trembling. There were a total of more than 20 of them. Apart from Deacon Chen, there were also a few male disciples who had betrayed them. "Hey, Deacon Chen already told us that we have a better future in Heaven's Top Mansion." "There's no future in Heaven's Top Mansion, so why bother staying there?" "Exactly. Heaven's Top Mansion's resources are too little. There's only one pill every month. How can it be called a mansion? We might as well call it the Celestial Pole Palace." They mocked and ridiculed Heaven's Top Mansion. They thought that Heaven's Top Mansion was a trash sect and wanted to leave. "Shut up." Yang Shishue angrily said, "Heaven's Top Mansion's resources are too little, but they have done their best to train us. How could they let us down? Although Heaven's Top Mansion is in decline now, I believe that sooner or later, they will create glory again." She proudly raised her head. "Although Heaven's Top Mansion is in decline now, at least they treat them well. That's enough. Create glory again. Even if it will be glory in the future, at least you won't see it now." Deacon Chen coldly snorted, "Take them back, I'll teach them a lesson. Heaven's Top Mansion is nothing but bullshit, they're all useless." "Well said, it's Heaven's Top Mansion's honor to have you in this generation." At this time, a black shadow landed on the ship. He thought it was a pirate, but he didn't expect it to be a collusion. He hates this kind of people the most. Moreover, it's Heaven's Top Mansion, a force that has some relationship with him, so he must help them. But he didn't expect that Heaven's Top Mansion has fallen to this point. Every one of them chose to betray, which is undoubtedly the saddest thing. In the end, it's all about benefits. Without enough benefits, it's impossible to keep their greedy hearts. "Who is it?" Deacon Chen and the others felt a chill in their hearts. Suddenly, someone appeared next to them. This really gave them a fright. They didn't even know where this person came from. Everyone's eyes were focused on Yi Tianyun. They found a young man standing on the deck, looking at them indifferently. "Friends from Heaven's Top Mansion." After that, Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand and used Absorbing Star's great technique. A super strong suction force instantly shrouded Deacon Chen. Deacon Chen exclaimed, he didn't even have time to struggle, he was sucked into Yi Tianyun's palm, the spiritual power inside his body was madly sucked out. In less than a moment, half of the spiritual power inside his body was sucked out. What kind of evil technique is this? Deacon Chen struggled, but his body couldn't move at all. After being sucked in, he found that he didn't even have the strength to struggle. He could only watch as Yi Tianyun sucked out his spiritual power. Everyone was shocked. A person fell from the sky and easily controlled Deacon Chen. No one expected this. "It's a good technique to deal with you." Yi Tianyun smiled indifferently. "Quick, save me. What are you doing?" Deacon Chen felt that his spiritual power was sucked out, so he quickly asked Bai Yundao for help. This time, Bai Yundao and the others recovered and controlled the flying shark to approach them. But before they could get close, a huge black dragon came down from the sky. They didn't have time to react, and the black dragon heavily pressed them down. Bang! Under this heavy pressure, a group of pirates was directly crushed. Immediately, with a roar, extremely high-temperature flames swept to the side, sweeping a large number of pirates, and they were all ignited by the black flames. After the pirates screamed, they jumped into the water. But when they jumped into the water, they found that the flame can't be extinguished by ordinary seawater. It continued to burn, and their bodies were burned to ashes. Chapter 129. Black Dragon. Bai Yundao and the others were dumbfounded by the scene. They had seen many demonic beasts, but they had never seen a divine beast like the black dragon before. He had never seen a black dragon in his entire life. Not bad, do you like it? Yi Tianyun smiled and said, "Kill them, this group of trash." At this time, they suddenly turned their head and looked at Yi Tianyun as if they saw a ghost. Does this black dragon belong to this young man? It was too late to verify this. The black dragon had already roared and waved his sharp claws to grab them fiercely, tearing the surrounding pirates in half. The black dragon's strength was several times that of a cultivator's, so it could easily tear a person into pieces with its claws. "Run, run!" Bai Yundao screamed in horror and jumped into the water without hesitation. There was only water here to cover their escape. Therefore, even if they were at a disadvantage in terms of cultivation, they had a great advantage in terms of the environment. Basically, they were successful in every endeavor. Unfortunately, they kicked an iron plate this time, and it is a very thick iron plate. Roar! The black dragon's mouth is full of fire, aiming at the direction where Bai Yundao escaped. It spat out a black flame, penetrating the sea in one fell swoop and continued to penetrate deep into the sea. Immediately a burst of bubbles emerged from the bottom of the sea. After a moment, a charred body floated up from below. Ding successfully killed Bai Yundao, gaining 480,000 EXP, 2200 crazy point. Obtained the skill to control flying shark, martial art diving impact, low-grade earth-level martial art. Ding, successfully killed Liu Yuqing, gained experience. Ding, pet black dragon, successfully leveled up to second-level core condensation. In crazy mode, after killing these pirates, the black dragon's EXP soared and quickly broke through to second-level core condensation. The rest of the pirates were killed by the black dragon. The pirates that surrounded them were killed one after another. Some of them were lucky enough to escape because they were far away and quickly jumped into the water. However, that was not the main point. The main point was to kill the leaders. The remaining shrimp soldiers and crab generals were useless. In the blink of an eye, all the pirates were destroyed. The disciples who betrayed Heaven's top mansion trembled in fear as they looked at Yi Tianyun in horror. They don't know who Yi Tianyun is, but since Yi Tianyun helped Heaven's top mansion, he must be a friend of Heaven's top mansion. In that case, what would happen to the traitors? Run, run! They turned around and jumped into the water, but they were still half a beat too slow. The black dragon had already flown in front of them, and its huge body knocked them back. With a bang, the few people who were about to jump into the water were knocked into the boat, smashing many planks. "If you want to escape, you have to ask me first." At this time, Yi Tianyun threw Deacon Qian in front of him. His whole body was paralyzed on the ground. The spiritual power in his body has been completely drained. At the same time, part of his energy was also drained, and many of his meridians were broken. Deacon Qian has become a waste. Not to mention escaping, he can't even stand up. They were overloaded, and they can't move even if they wanted to. Well, it's done. These traitors, how do you want to deal with them? Do you want to take them back to the sect or execute them on the spot? Yi Tianyun looked up at them and asked. He doesn't mind taking Deacon Qian back. Although he gained a lot of experience points, Spirit King Shen Tian gave him a lot of things, even the heavens immersing ancient ruins was given to him. From a moral point of view, it doesn't matter if they take him back. At this time, Yang Shishue, who was the leader, came back to her senses. This scene is too shocking. There is also a black dragon next to them. It seems like everything is so unreal. Everything was over in the blink of an eye. The traitor is already paralyzed on the ground. He doesn't even have the strength to resist. Senior. You, who are you to our Heaven's top mansion? Yang Shishue's voice trembled. Although she knows that Yi Tianyun is not an enemy, but this kind of pressure still makes them tremble. How do I say it? In short, we are friends. Yi Tianyun doesn't know how to describe it. He has a relationship with Spirit King Shen Tian. He is considered as their ancestor's disciple. In this way, he is equivalent to their ancestor. But he didn't say it out loud. He still has important things to do. Friends. Yang Shishue and the others looked at each other, and immediately kneeled down and said, "Junior thanks Senior for saving our lives." This traitor will be taken back by us and executed by the mansion lord. If Senior has time, I don't know if you can come with us to Heaven's top mansion. I can't for the time being. I still have things to do. You can go back now. I don't think there will be any pirates in this area. There shouldn't be any pirates in this area. Yi Tianyun smiled and said, you still have a lot of things to deal with. Go back and explain it to your mansion lord. I saw your determination just now. Even if Heaven's top mansion is declining now, I believe it will become stronger in the future. Thank you, Senior, for your kind words. Young Shishue and the others are excited. It's the best thing for them to be recognized by someone. Immediately, young Shishue thought for a moment and said, I don't know when Senior will come to our Heaven's top mansion. We have to repay Senior for saving our lives. We will see each other again. Yi Tianyun waved his hand and jumped on the black dragon. He smiled at them and said, I'm optimistic about you. I hope the next time I see you, you will have improved a lot. After that, Yi Tianyun rode the black dragon and flew towards Devil Cloud Island. He quickly disappeared from their sight. Senior Sister Yang, you said that Senior is so young. How did he cultivate? And the black dragon as a mount is too powerful. I don't know who he is in Heaven's top mansion. The junior sister next to young Shishue wondered. I'm not sure about that, but since he can save us, he must be a friend of the elders of Heaven's top mansion. Young Shishue's beautiful eyes are shining with tears. This is the feeling of surviving a disaster. If it weren't for Yi Tianyun, they would have been dead or humiliated to death. It's scary to think about it. Since Senior will tell us about Heaven's top mansion, we will thank him. Young Shishue turned around and looked at Deacon Chen, who fainted on the ground. Her eyes are cold. Tie them up and bring them back to the mansion lord. Yes. Their voice is so loud. Looking at the traitors, they are angry. If it weren't for the sect lord's judgment, they would have already executed them. Chapter 130. After this episode, Yi Tianyun continued on his way to Devil Cloud Island. He didn't expect to meet people from Heaven's top mansion on the way. It seems like there is some kind of relationship between them. It was hard to say whether it was fated or not, but it was such a coincidence that they met in this vast ocean. But even if they are not from Heaven's top mansion, he will still save them. He may not be a good person, but at least he knows what is right and wrong. Ding, successfully completed saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda achievement, obtained Savior primary title, permanently increased 200 prestige point. At this time, a message suddenly popped up, which made him stunned. He didn't expect to complete a hidden achievement after saving them. He doesn't need any equipment at all. The effects of these titles are stacked, which means that he suddenly gained 200 prestige point. I didn't expect to complete a savior. I guess the number of villagers I saved before, plus the number of people I saved now, to reach the target. Yi Tianyun smiled. This is different from the Guardian title. It increases his prestige points. But he also saw that it is a primary title. Does it mean that if he continues to save people, he can continue to strengthen this title? But he doesn't know about the Guardian title. It can't be increased. If it continues to stack, it will definitely reach a terrifying value. Especially the prestige points, it is of great help to him now. The success rate of Forging Soul Tool, before it was less than 10%, now it directly increased to 20%. With the help of Luck Aura, it is estimated that the success rate can reach 50%. Yi Tianyun was happy, but he didn't intend to give it a try. There is no need to use Luck Aura now, it will only waste crazy point. Although increasing 200 prestige points can increase the success rate by 10%, but that is only for the early stage. The later stage is getting more and more difficult. Even increasing the success rate by 5% is extremely difficult. But to be able to increase the success rate by 50% is already amazing, at least not like the previous 10% success rate. That is terrifying. Almost there, Yi Tianyun checked the astrolabe in his hand. Looking at the route, he is almost at the Devil Cloud Island. Finally, after a distance, the Devil Cloud Island came into view. There is no need for any introduction. He knows that it is the Devil Cloud Island. Devil Cloud Island, as the name suggested, was a small island with a mass of black clouds. It looked like lightning was flashing in the black clouds, as if a bolt of lightning would strike down from the sky at any time. But in fact, There will be a lightning strike at any time. If struck, even a core condensation cultivator will die. This black cloud did not cover a large area. It just covered the entire island. The island wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. It was the size of a big city. So this is Devil Cloud Island. It looks a bit strange. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes and saw a group of demonic beasts wandering around. However, these demonic beasts had crawled out from the bottom of the sea. They were all sea demons. There were giant octopuses, giant sharks, and even giant manatees. Their huge bodies were moving around the Devil Cloud Island, as if they were protecting something. Layer after layer, it looked very strange. Their cultivation varies from spirit refinement realm to core condensation realm. The lowest is at 4th level of spirit refinement realm, and the highest is at 7th level of core condensation realm. At a glance, the number is as many as 100. They are all around the edge of the entire Devil Cloud Island. Obviously, this is a very strange behavior. Under normal circumstances, they live underwater. But now they have climbed up, which undoubtedly exposed their weaknesses. In the water, their strength is doubled. Taking advantage of the environment, they can easily kill humans, but it's different on the surface, they no longer have the advantage. However, with their strong cultivation, even if they are not in the water, no cultivator would dare to fight them. In addition to Yi Tianyun, there are no cultivators nearby. This place is so dangerous, not everyone can come here casually. Not everyone can come here on the Black Dragon like Yi Tianyun. Very good, there is no one here, just the right time to attack. Yi Tianyun rode the Black Dragon and rushed down. At this moment, he instantly raised his strength to the maximum. Dragon God Bloodline, activate. Crazy 4 times damage mode, activate. Crazy 4 times EXP mode, activate. 5 times EXP card, activate. 10 times EXP card, activate. 2 times Crazy Point card, activate. Almost all that he can use, he superimposed it. When he swooped down, 1 man and 1 dragon seemed to merge into one, and his strength soared to the extreme. Roar. The demon beasts around the Devil Cloud Island, when they sensed the power above their heads, they all looked up. When they saw Yi Tianyun rushing down, they immediately prepared to fight, but with their strength, how can they withstand such a powerful force from Yi Tianyun? Boom. 1 man and 1 dragon fell down, accompanied by a loud bang. Many demon beasts were blown away. The black dragon waved its sharp claws and tore the demon beast next to it. The demon beast was like a thin piece of paper, it was easily torn apart. Yi Tianyun held the chaotic Heaven Saint axe in his hand, and it was as if he was cutting melons and vegetables. He swung the axe fiercely, and the demon beast was immediately cut in half. Ding, successfully killed giant octopus, gained 2000. 000 EXP, 4. 000 Crazy Point, got an octopus tentacle, eat it for a short period of time. Ding, successfully killed giant sea cow, gained 350,000 EXP, 6. 000 Crazy Point, got sea cow horn, material. Ding, successfully killed giant walrus, gained 4,000, 000 EXP, 6. 000 Crazy Point, got walrus skin, materia. With the 19 times EXP stacked, plus the double Crazy Point, the value suddenly skyrocketed. Yi Tianyun specifically killed the demon beasts with higher cultivation, the black dragon specifically hunted the demon beasts with lower cultivation. 1 man and 1 beast slaughtered madly, the experience is crazy, good things are constantly dropping, and constantly occupying the inventory. These demon beasts are also not afraid of death, crazily rushed here, this just catered to Yi Tianyun's idea. He came here to continuously hunt these demon beasts, not to look for demon beasts everywhere, it is too much of a waste of time. His experience card can last for up to an hour, after a long time, it will be gone. Ding, Pet Black Dragon successfully broke through to 3rd level core condensation. Ding, Pet Black Dragon successfully broke through to 4th level core condensation. Because the Black Dragon's level is relatively low, so its speed of leveling up is relatively fast, it suddenly leveled up 2 levels. However, Yi Tianyun still did not level up, after all, he still needs 6 to 7 million EXP, it is not easy to fill it up. Cool, This is the feeling I want, again. Chapter 131. Successfully killed giant walrus, obtained. Yi Tianyun and the black dragon continued to kill the demon beasts. If Snow Wolf was here, its killing speed would undoubtedly be even more amazing. But Yi Tianyun left Snow Wolf in the heavens immersing ancient ruins to protect it, so he didn't bring it out. But their speed was not slow, they were like the Grim Reaper, crazily harvesting the lives of the surrounding demon beasts. Every time he killed a demon beast, he would immediately use the storage ring to store the demon beasts' bodies. These bodies must be recycled and sold to the Star Pavilion. Under their crazy killing, Yi Tianyun's level finally increased again. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully breaking through to the first level of Spirit Core stage. At the moment of breakthrough, Yi Tianyun felt that his strength suddenly soared a lot. If his previous combat power was only 390,000, now his combat power instantly exploded to 500,000. A full 500,000 battle power, 110,000 battle power higher than before. Of course, this was not just the improvement of his cultivation, but also the upgrade of his Dragon God bloodline. Under the 3rd grade Dragon God bloodline, the dragon scales on his body became harder and more terrifying. With the superposition of quadruple damage, naturally his combat power naturally reached 500,000, which is terrifying. Voila! Yi Tianyun once again swung his axe, instantly harvesting a lot of demon beasts. It was much easier to kill them than before, it was like a piece of paper. This is the cultivation of Spirit Core stage? It's really too strong. Sure enough, the improvement of cultivation is the most fundamental key to improving strength. Yi Tianyun always knew that only after the basic data has been improved, under the 4x mode, will he be stronger. Of course, even without the crazy mode, breaking through to the Spirit Core stage will still be amazing. The watershed between the two is not that simple. After his cultivation erupted, his momentum became even stronger, but the surrounding demon beasts continued to rush towards him like crazy, not afraid of Yi Tianyun at all. Strange, these demonic beasts won't be scared off at all. Could it be that they have lost their minds? After killing for a long time, Yi Tianyun could clearly feel that something was wrong with these beasts. Their eyes were lifeless, as though they were being controlled by something. It looked like they were possessed. Normally, they would stay in their own territories on Devil Cloud Island. Anyone who intruded into their territory would be attacked. Now that they were all gathered together, it was already strange, but now it was even stranger. Usually, when he exploded with such power, although the demon beast's intelligence was not high, it at least knew what fear was and whether it could judge the strength of the enemy. It was obvious that they were much stronger than them, but they still didn't choose to retreat. Instead, they became more and more ferocious. Whatever, the more the merrier. I won't reject anyone. Yi Tianyun couldn't be bothered to care about the problem. Right now, all he needed to do was to kill and earn experience. He didn't need to care about anything else. Then he continued to kill, but the demon beasts here seemed to be endless. They kept climbing up from the sea and besieged him. After an hour of killing, the 10 times EXP card and Crazy Point card were used up. He continued to buy them in the shop and continued to kill. His EXP kept increasing. Heilong's level had already reached level 7 of core condensation, but Yi Tianyun had not even leveled up once. He had to admit that the amount of experience needed in the later stage was too much. Even if he had more than 10 times EXP, he still needed to kill a lot of demon beasts. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully breaking through to 2nd level Spirit Core stage. Finally, after killing for almost 2 hours, Yi Tianyun was promoted to 2nd level Spirit Core stage. It was really a difficult process. But compared to others, it was already a lot faster. In just 2 hours, he was able to break through to the next level. Who else could do this? He didn't know how long he had been killing, but the demon beasts around him were getting less and less. It seems that the number of demon beasts is not endless, it will eventually decrease. But when he was about to finish killing, a beautiful sound came again. Ding! Congratulations to player Yi Tianyun for successfully breaking through to 3rd level Spirit Core stage. Yi Tianyun didn't expect that at this time, he would still level up. But now the demon beasts were almost all gone, Only a small part was left, at most there were 5 or 6 demon beasts left. Soon, the whole Devil Cloud Island became empty. There was not a single monster beast left. Except for this black dragon, which was almost twice the size of the previous one, the rest of the monster beasts had been cleaned up. The ground was full of blood, and the thick smell of blood enveloped the whole island. Boom! As if feeling the blood on the ground, thunder began to rumble in the sky, but it didn't come down, instead, it began to pour. With a whoosh, the rain continued to fall, washing away the bloodstains on the ground. Soon, the bloodstains were all washed away. A lot of blood flowed into the sea, but soon it was completely diluted by the seawater. Sigh, Yi Tianyun let the rain fall on his body, he felt refreshed. After killing for so long, his arms were numb, and he consumed a lot of spiritual power. But this is not a problem, compared to the experience gained, it's all worth it. It's just that compared to his expectation, it's still too slow. He just broke through to 3rd level spirit core stage, it's still too slow. Is there no demon beast left to kill? Yi Tianyun turned his head and looked to the side, there were no demon beasts around, as if everything has returned to peace. Immediately, he opened the property bar to check the current situation. Player, Yi Tianyun level, 33, 3rd level spirit core stage, EXP, crazy point, 878538, prestige, 430, sin point, 231 cultivation technique, dark north divine art, dragon god secret art, Shen Tian divine art martial arts, absorbing stars great technique, blood fiend soaring heaven weapon, frost fist, blood fiend divine spear, endless sword, chaotic heaven sacred axe armor, divine armor, shadow cloak, chaotic heaven divine armor, chaotic heaven battle boots divine ability, crazy mode, luck aura bloodline, dragon god bloodline ornaments, forging god hammer, power bracelet, power ring, power belt, blood fiend bracelet all items, 10 recovery medicinal pill, gift pack LV31, life X1, bad luck divine pill, blast divine pill, walrus skin X8, octopus tentacles X6, manatee horn X8 treasure, purple fire divine furnace title, guardian, savior flame, immortal fire. There are a lot of materials in the inventory, but there are no weapons. These demon beasts only dropped some materials, there are no precious things, even if the level is not low, but the things they dropped are relatively ordinary. Chapter 132. Seeing such a shocking amount of EXP, this is expected. The higher the level, the EXP will naturally increase, but there is no corresponding opponent, so leveling up is extremely difficult. Wait, what the hell is sin value? Yi Tianyun found that his property bar has a sin value. It has never appeared before, he just saw it. When he checked the sin value, he was stunned on the spot. Sin value, novice protection ended, successfully opened the sin value system. As long as you kill any life, you will increase the sin value. The higher the sin value, the easier it is to attract the hostility of evil people. The more evil the enemy is, the higher the sin value. Sin value can be exchanged for crazy point, proficiency, EXP, and items in the Sin Mall. What? Novice protection ended. Yi Tianyun was stunned. This means that he just left the novice protection. Spirit core realm is just a novice protection. Isn't this system definition a bit too high? Spirit core realm is relatively high here. He didn't expect it to be just a novice protection. Compared to this, he is more concerned about the sin value. He didn't expect there to be such a thing. To put it nicely, it is sin value. To put it bluntly, it is to attract hatred. As this thing gets higher and higher, if he meets an arrogant person, he will be the first one to be targeted, and they will be extremely displeasing to the eye. Fortunately, it is only the hostility of evil people. If even normal people are hostile to him, then he will be finished. And this Sin Mall, what is it? Yi Tianyun opened the mall, but he didn't see the Sin Mall, so he was a little confused. Forget it, don't think too much, I can already open the level 31 gift pack. Yi Tianyun is very excited about this. Every time he leveled up the gift pack, he hopes it will not let him down this time. Open level 31 gift pack. He clicked on the level 31 gift pack, and immediately everything appeared in front of him. Opened level 31 gift pack, successfully opened the Sin Mall, obtained 20 times EXP card, 1 hour, 3 times crazy point card, 1 hour, 4 times proficiency card, 1 hour, level 41 upgrade gift pack. There are only 3 things, but there are 20 times EXP card, 3 times crazy point card, and 4 times proficiency card, all of which are treasures that increase benefits. But he is very satisfied. In particular, he was very satisfied with the 20 times experience card. In particular, the experience card could be stacked. This meant that he had bought a 10 times experience card and a 5 times experience card, which would add up to 45 times experience point. Wouldn't the experience be flying? The same is true for the rest of the crazy point cards. They can be stacked. This is not a loophole, it can only be said that it is crazy enough. It's really good stuff, but what's the sin mall? What's the difference between it and an ordinary mall? Following Yi Tianyun opened up the sin mall. When he saw the items on it, he was stunned. It was a whole new world. The difference between the sin market and the normal market was too big. There was only one category, set equipment. The sin market only sold set equipment. Moreover, the price of the set equipment was extremely high. Currently, there were only 2 set equipment on display, both of which were suitable for his current level. Evil Dragon set equipment, level requirement, level 30. After equipping, the wearer can transform into a gigantic evil dragon that is 100 meters long at any time. All strength is increased by 10 times, defense is increased by 20 times, and has the ability to fly and devour. Price is 10,000 sin point. Swordsman set equipment, level requirement, level 30. After equipping, the wearer can learn to control the sword formation at any time. All the long swords within a radius of 10 miles are under the control of the wearer. Up to 10,000 long swords can be controlled by the wearer. Price is 10,000 sin points. Amazing. Yi Tianyun was shocked after seeing it. This can be said to be a god set equipment. Although it only provides 2 kinds, the price is too fierce. 10,000 sin points. How can he earn this amount? This is the amount of sin points that can only be obtained by killing 10,000 lives. Just now, he killed so many people that his hands became soft, but he only got more than 200 sin points. If he killed 10,000 people, he doesn't know how many he would have to kill. As for killing ordinary people or other cultivators, it is obviously impossible, because there is a note below. Only by killing evil people can he get sin points, or killing people who are hostile to him can he get sin points. If he kills ordinary people indiscriminately, then the result is that his sin points will be deducted, and even his level will drop. Moreover, there is no need for enemies to kill him, some strong people will come to kill him. There is no need for sin points at all. Attracting hatred is not something that the system can bring to him. If he kills people indiscriminately, there will definitely be strong people coming to kill him. After all, killing ordinary people indiscriminately has already made him a devil. Some strong people will definitely come to kill him. Of course, even if killing ordinary people can increase his sin points, he will still not do it. Such a cruel thing, he would rather not have any sin points than to do such a thing. He has his own bottom line, he will never hurt people who have nothing to do with him. Only 2 sets of god set equipment, but 10,000 sin points, how can I earn it? Yi Tianyun frowned, and immediately when he sensed that there are people in the sky far away, he quickly kept the black dragon in the pet bar, not taking up any space. Immediately after, he looked up and saw 2 giant eagles flying over. Looking at the familiar feather carriage, Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes. Feather carriage, I don't know who is coming. That old man refused to say what forces are coming. Those who can ride the feather carriage are not ordinary people, of course, they are not limited to Qingxian Mansion. Other sects also have feather carriages. It is a relatively common tool for big sects to go out. Soon, the 2 feather carriages landed, and first, a luxurious young master, wearing luxurious clothes, came out of the carriage, holding an umbrella. Obviously, by circulating his spiritual power, he could easily block the surrounding raindrops, but he still came out holding an umbrella. He looked very handsome and elegant, with a faint smile on his face, he looked very amiable. However, when Yi Tianyun saw him, his face immediately sank, because the clothes he was wearing just happened to have the 2 words Qingxian embroidered on it. There is no doubt that he is from Qingxian Mansion. Enemies really don't meet each other. Immediately he met a person from Qingxian Mansion. Yi Tianyun's eyes narrowed, The other person's information immediately appeared in front of him. Qing Liuyun, 8th level core condensation stage, wearing a low-grade soul tool, soft golden armor, holding a low-grade soul tool, heaven-level umbrella, martial arts, transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, etc. Combat power, 43,000. Chapter 133. Xiaoshe, please slow down. He walked towards the carriage next to him and opened the umbrella, but the carriage ignored him and walked out directly. The person who walked out was a beautiful young woman with a cold expression. She didn't stand with Qing Liuyun but stood on the side and circulated her spirit energy to block the raindrops. She didn't act pretentious at all. No need, I can do it myself. Yu Shiqian said indifferently and stood a bit further away from Qing Liuyun. Following them was another woman. Her appearance was slightly inferior to this absolute beauty. Looking at Qing Liuyun, she revealed an expression of disgust. Qing Liuyun, why did you come with us? We sisters are out to train, why are you blindly joining us? I'm just worried about you too. I heard that there are a lot of demon beasts here. What if Xiaoshe and Xiao Yu got hurt? Qing Liuyun said with a gentle smile. There are demon beasts here. Open your eyes wide and see if there are any demon beasts here. Someone came here earlier than us. Zhao Yu was surprised when she saw Yi Tianyun. This place is listed as one of the 5 most dangerous places. She didn't expect that there would be someone who came here earlier than her. Qing Liuyun looked towards Yi Tianyun's direction. He saw Yi Tianyun before, but he was too lazy to pay attention to him, because in his opinion, Yi Tianyun wasn't worth his time. Hey, you over there, when did you come here? Qing Liuyun shouted at Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun didn't pay attention to him at all. He didn't even bother to look at him. Big brother Qing Liuyun asked you a question. Why don't you answer? Are you mute? At this time, another person came down from the carriage. He was also wearing the clothes of Qing Shen Mansion. His cultivation level was also not bad. Both of them were at 7th level core condensation. Looking at their age, they are definitely the geniuses of the younger generation of Qing Shen Mansion. It must be said that the Qing Shen Mansion's capital was too great, otherwise, it would not be able to stand firm in the heavenly boundary continent. Yi Tianyun stared at him coldly. It seemed like he wasn't the one who was attracting hatred, but the other. This kind of contemptuous gaze showed that he didn't put him in his eyes at all. Mister, it seems like you came here earlier than us. Did you see any beasts on your way here? Yu Shiqian walked over and asked in a friendly manner. She didn't look angry at all. There were demonic beasts, but I killed them all. Yi Tianyun said. Haha, you killed him? Xiao Jianren laughed. If you killed him, where is his corpse? There's nothing here, and you're telling me you were killed? Who are you trying to fool? Speaking of which, the words of the old man from the Star Pavilion are not very reliable. He said that there would be a lot of demonic beasts here, but now there is not a single one. He didn't believe Yi Tianyun's words. Yi Tianyun couldn't be bothered to explain. In any case, he had already said it. Believe it or not, it has nothing to do with me. After saying that, Yi Tianyun turned around and left. He didn't want to stay here any longer. He wanted to go to the center of the Devil Cloud Island to see if there was anything here. Since those demonic beasts were behaving strangely, there must be something here. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gathered here. As for the 2 people from the Qing Shen Mansion, Yi Tianyun wasn't in a hurry to kill them. He didn't know which sect was next to them. If the news of him killing a disciple from the Qing Shen Mansion were to spread, it wouldn't be a good thing. Xiao Jianren saw that Yi Tianyun was ignoring him. Just when he was about to stop him, Qing Liuyun stopped him and said indifferently, "Don't be impulsive, Xiaoshe and the others are here. It won't look good if you stain this place with blood." "Fine, I'll spare his life." Xiao Jianren snorted coldly, but he still felt very unhappy. "Xiaoshe, let's go around and see if there are other demonic beasts here. I heard that there are some strange phenomena here. Maybe there are some rare treasures here." Qing Liuyun said with a gentle smile. "Young Master Qing, please don't call me that intimately," Yu Shiqian said indifferently. After saying that, Yu Shiqian left first. Zhao Yu quickly followed behind her. Qing Liuyun's eyes flashed with anger, but he suppressed it in his heart. He and Xiao Jianren looked at each other and quickly followed behind Yu Shiqian. Yi Tianyun was the first one to leave. After walking around in a circle, he didn't see anything. Instead, he saw the 4 people gathered in front of a stone tablet. Yi Tianyun saw a stone tablet that looks like a hill. It's 10 feet high, and there are a lot of words engraved on it. Even if you are on the hill, you can see it clearly. You don't need to go closer to see it. Originally, the stone tablet was quite high, so he could see it very clearly. However, he still went down the hill and looked at it from a close distance. When he walked down, the 4 people looked at him. It's you. When Xiao Jianren saw Yi Tianyun, his eyes flashed with anger. If Qing Liuyun didn't stop him, he would have already grabbed Yi Tianyun and beat him up. What's the matter? Yi Tianyun looked at him indifferently. I asked you a question just now, but you didn't answer, Xiao Jianren said angrily. I have already answered all the questions. Whether you believe me or not is none of my business. Yi Tianyun didn't have a good impression of Qingshen Mansion, plus their attitude was very bad. He was even more dissatisfied. If it weren't for the fact that someone was here, he would have already slapped them to death. Oh, so arrogant. Xiao Jianren was about to step forward but was pulled back by Qing Liuyun. Don't worry about him, let's observe the stone tablet first. Qing Liuyun said to Xiao Jianren. Xiao Jianren suppressed his anger and turned around, no longer paying attention to Yi Tianyun. Yi Tianyun was also too lazy to pay attention to him. His eyes were fixed on the stone tablet. He wanted to see what was written on it. Oh, you also want to see the stone tablet? Xiao Jianren's mouth can't stop talking, and seeing Yi Tianyun staring at the stone tablet, he is very unhappy. Is there a problem? Yi Tianyun looked at him indifferently. There is no problem. It's just that some things are dependent on talent. Xiao Jianren said in a sarcastic tone. In that case, what did you comprehend from the stone tablet? Yi Tianyun said indifferently. I didn't comprehend anything, but my big brother did. Xiao Jianren looked at Qing Liuyun and signaled with his eyes. The 2 of them looked at Xiao Jianren and their beautiful eyes were filled with surprise. They couldn't understand the stone tablet, let alone comprehend it. If Qing Liuyun was able to comprehend it, then he would be a big genius. Although the content of the stone tablet is a bit obscure, I still managed to comprehend a little bit. For me it's not a small benefit. Qing Liuyun said stubbornly. With so many people watching, he naturally wouldn't say that he didn't comprehend anything. His expression was leisurely and contented. He was holding a fan in his hand, gently fanning himself. His eyes revealed a complacent smile. Now that the rain has stopped, the umbrella in his hand was replaced by a fan, making him look even more pretentious. Chapter 134. Yi Tianyun gave him a meaningful look. No wonder you are from Qingshen Mansion. Pretending to know something you don't know is just to show off in front of the 2 girls. If it was any other force, he wouldn't care about it, but Profound Azure Mansion was different, and they were so arrogant. Is that so? Can you tell us what is written on it? Yi Tianyun knocked on the stone tablet. There is not much engraved on it, it's just a row of words, but they can't understand it. It's like a crooked snake. How can they understand it? Are you an idiot? How can you tell us what you have comprehended? Can't you understand it? Qing Liuyun said disdainfully. If you have the ability to comprehend it yourself, then tell us. Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu frowned. They felt that Yi Tianyun was being rude. There were some things that could only be understood and not conveyed in words, but it wasn't that there were none. Even if he knew it, why would he say it? Yi Tianyun looked at Qing Liuyun as if he was looking at an idiot. He knocked on the tombstone and smiled. I'm sorry, I know what is written on it. Not only do I know it, I can also tell you. Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu's eyes lit up. They didn't know whether Yi Tianyun was telling the truth or not. Qing Liuyun thought that Yi Tianyun was just bluffing, so he sneered and said, well, if you have the guts, then tell me what you want to tell me. Of course, it's not a problem. The words engraved on it are not the language we use. I believe everyone can see that. In fact, this tombstone is written in an ancient language. It's the language of the spirit race, so it's normal that you can't understand it. Let me tell you, the words engraved on it are very simple. It says Huan Qin's tomb. The name engraved on the bottom is Lei Yun. Yi Tianyun looked at Qing Liuyun with a surprised expression. He shook his head and said, I say, friend, you were able to comprehend something just by looking at a tombstone, and you even benefited a lot from it. You are really talented. In any case, I can't see anything. Just consider me stupid. After all, it's just a tombstone. How can I see a heaven-tier martial art? He didn't make this up. He had seen this kind of text in Jade Palace. He felt that it was obscure and difficult to understand, so he specially studied it, so he didn't dare to say that he understood it, but at least most of it is not a problem. You're talking nonsense. Qing Liuyun's face turned red. Even if he died, he wouldn't accept Yi Tianyun's explanation. If he followed Yi Tianyun's explanation, then he really would be an idiot. If he could comprehend something just by looking at a tombstone, then that would be really strange. I'm talking nonsense. Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and said, if I'm spouting nonsense, you can slap me all you want. I won't fight back. Even if you think about it, if it's really precious, it would have been taken away a long time ago. Although this is a dangerous place, it doesn't mean that no one came here. Although the spirit race's language is strange, there are still some people who understand it. If you don't believe me, you can ask. Do you really think you can see something from this tombstone? If you really can see it, then you are absolute geniuses. You can see something just by looking at a tombstone. You are really a genius. Yi Tianyun clapped his hands and said sarcastically. After his explanation, Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu really felt that it was very credible. So Qing Liuyun is really pretending? Good, very good. Qing Liuyun said angrily, you are just playing tricks. Do you think anyone will believe you? I don't know if anyone will believe me or not. You guys take your time to comprehend it, I'll leave first. Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and said, comprehend a tombstone, does it mean that you want to enter the coffin faster? After saying that, he couldn't be bothered to pay any more attention to him. He lifted his foot and walked forward. Qing Liuyun's face turned cold as he looked at Yi Tianyun's back. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Qing Liuyun didn't say anything. He turned to Yu Shiqian and said, Xiao Shi, don't listen to his nonsense, this tombstone is not a tombstone. He wanted to say something else, but he didn't know what to say. It doesn't matter anymore, I will call someone from the spirit race to take a look at it later. Yu Shiqian said to Zhao Yu, Sister Zhao, let's go to other places. Strange, there are no demonic beasts here. Didn't they say that there are a lot of demonic beasts here? They didn't pay attention to Qing Liuyun and Xiao Jianren, they just turned around and left. Qing Liuyun looked at their departing figures and viciously crushed the fan in his hand before tossing it to the side with a cold glint in his eyes. Brother, I can't take it anymore. Xiao Jianren's eyes were filled with anger, his anger towards Yi Tianyun had reached its peak. Some people don't want to live long, they don't want to offend me, they will die. Qing Liuyun said angrily, go surround him. Let him know the consequences of provoking us. Tombstone, it seems like there is a graveyard in this area. I wonder where it is. Yi Tianyun said as he looked around the forest to see if there was anything special. But after a few steps, he stopped, looked at the front and said indifferently, there is no need to hide in the front, come out. It seems like you have some skill. Xiao Jianren said. Xiao Jianren walked out from the back and blocked Yi Tianyun's way. Both of them were furious, it seemed like their eyes were about to explode. What's the matter? Yi Tianyun looked at them. Of course there is, it is to let you know the consequences of provoking us. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Jianren stepped on the ground with a short sword in his hand and attacked Yi Tianyun. His legs instantly burst out a powerful force, causing the ground to slightly sink. Heavenly Tiger Stomp. Xiao Jianren turned into a huge heavenly tiger, grew a pair of wings and pounced towards Yi Tianyun. His footsteps were light and heavy, leaving footprints of different depths on the ground. He sprinted like a ferocious tiger, his attacks were even more ferocious. Roar. Spiritual power burst out, a heavenly tiger appeared behind him and pounced towards Yi Tianyun. The short sword in his hand flickered with a cold light, his only goal was to take his life. Yi Tianyun didn't immediately counterattack, he just stood in the same place, not even in a defensive state, all of his attacks were instantaneous, making it difficult for the enemy to predict his moves. Go to hell for me. Xiao Jianren's face was ferocious, the short sword in his hand fiercely stabbed down. At this moment, Yi Qianyun was even faster. He grabbed Xiao Jianren's arm and heavily smashed him to the ground with lightning speed. Come down for me. Another shoulder throw. The violent force of the fall, even a heavenly tiger, can be suppressed by the violent force. Bang! Chapter 135. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Jianren was easily thrown to the ground by Yi Qianyun, creating a crater on the ground. Their cultivation is not low, but Yi Qianyun is more domineering. Crack! At the same time, Yi Qianyun twisted his arm fiercely and broke Xiao Jianren's arm. Xiao Jianren screamed in pain. Xiao Jianren was about to faint, but under the severe pain, Xiao Jianren couldn't stay conscious anymore. My arm! Ah! Xiao Jianren screamed and tried to break free from Yi Qianyun's grip, but Yi Qianyun kicked the short sword that fell to the ground and grabbed it. Like a galaxy falling down from the sky, Yi Qianyun grabbed the short sword and stabbed it into Xiao Jianren's chest, and finally, the short sword completely sank into the hill. Clean and neat, no sloppiness, easily killed a person. Xiao Jianren's eyes widened, he could still move a little, but then he stopped breathing. Ding, successfully killed Xiao Jianren, gained 68,000 EXP, 1700 crazy point, transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, recovery pill. Obtained martial arts transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, 1 recovery pill. What they dropped were still these martial arts. Although they were Earth class, they had always been repetitive. Originally, they only knew these, so of course these were the only things that dropped. Unless there are some special cases, otherwise, the martial arts that dropped are the ones that they cultivated. But Earth-level martial arts is very good, it's either sell it or use it to fuse, it's not bad. Others are very eager to get their hands on Earth-level martial arts, but Yi Qianyun has too many Earth-level martial arts, so he feels that they are too low level. Originally, these Earth-level martial arts are not bad, the price is not bad, so he feels that it is a bit low level, it would be good if it is a bit higher. It's your turn. Yi Qianyun quickly turned around and looked at Qing Liuyun, who was about to attack him. Qing Liuyun took a few steps back, the long sword in his hand trembled. This terrifying burst of power made Qing Liuyun know that he kicked an iron plate. You killed my junior brother. Do you know who we are? Qing Liuyun couldn't even speak properly. His eyes were filled with fear. He was no fool, and he could tell with a single glance that there was something wrong with Lin Fan's skillful killing technique. He had thought that Yi Qianyun was just a kid who was passing by. Even if his cultivation was not low, he did not expect him to be this powerful. Oh, you're starting to threaten me with your identity. Yi Qianyun said indifferently, it's meaningless to move to the Qing Xian mansion. I even dared to kill your elder Wei and Inspector Ge. Do you think I won't dare to touch you? What? Elder Wei and Inspector Ge are dead. Qing Liuyun's eyes widened in disbelief. They all knew about Elder Wei's cultivation. He was a spirit core cultivator, but he was still killed by Yi Qianyun. What was Yi Qianyun's real cultivation level? Judging from Qing Liuyun's shocked expression, it was obvious that the news didn't reach him, and he was very satisfied with it. Yes, they wanted to control Jade Palace, so I killed them. Your mansion lord wants our palace lord to be his concubine? TSK, it's really shameless. Do you really think that Qing Xian mansion is invincible? Yi Qianyun sneered, I didn't have any intention to kill you, but since you made the first move, don't blame me for being ruthless. Jade Palace, you are from Jade Palace. This means that when you said that all the demonic beasts were killed by you, it wasn't a lie. Qing Liuyun looked at him incredulously. He really can't imagine how Jade Palace can have such a strong cultivator. Yes, I told you the truth from the beginning, but you didn't believe me. Now you know, so you can die in peace. Boom. Yi Qianyun didn't talk nonsense with Qing Liuyun anymore, he just sprinted towards Qing Liuyun. He didn't use any technique, he just used his sturdy body to collide with Qing Liuyun. His speed was too fast for Qing Liuyun to react. He could only desperately brandish the long sword in his hand and thrust it toward Yi Qianyun, bursting out his strongest power, making a final struggle. Yi Qianyun didn't even look at Qing Liuyun, he continued to rush forward, pushed the long sword aside, and at the same time hit Qing Liuyun with his sturdy shoulder. At the moment of contact, Qing Liuyun's spiritual power immediately detonated. Bang! Qing Liuyun was knocked out and stuck on the thick trunk. Qing Liuyun let out a muffled groan as he slid down the thick tree trunk. His body had already caved in. How could they possibly withstand such a violent impact? I don't want to die. Qing Liuyun's expression is full of horror. He really doesn't want to die. As a young generation, he is really afraid of death. You don't want to die. I don't want to kill people at will, but it's a pity that you provoked me and even wanted to kill me. Yi Tianyun's eyes are cold. He immediately kicked the long sword that fell on the ground and immediately turned into a cold light that penetrated Qing Liuyun's heart. You! Qing Liuyun's eyes widened. He shouted with some inarticulate words, Old ancestor will avenge us. Ding successfully killed Qing Liuyun, gained 72,000 EXP, 1,800 crazy points. Obtained martial art transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, flowing cloud long sword, low-grade soul tool. Avenge? Yi Tianyun sneered. There is no need to wait for them to come for revenge. When my strength increases, I will personally visit them. Yi Tianyun quickly dealt with the two bodies. After emptying their things, he threw 2 balls of immortal fire and burned them to ashes. Destroying the corpses is easy, no one will find out about it. This was the result he wanted. He didn't want to alert the enemy. As long as his cultivation was high enough, profound azure mansion was nothing in front of him. It's almost done, let's continue to look around. Yi Tianyun continued to walk around the hill to see if he can find anything strange. However, after walking for a while, they bumped into Yu Shiqian and the others again. They were stunned. Yu Shiqian nodded lightly. Young master, why are you still here? What's wrong? Is there a demonic beast here? Yi Tianyun smiled. Not really, you provoked Qing Liuyun. They must be looking for you everywhere. If you continue to stay here, it's easy to get yourself killed. Yu Shiqian kindly reminded. Thank you for reminding me, I will keep it in mind, but I am not in a hurry to leave, I plan to stay here for a while. Yi Tianyun smiled. It seems that Yu Shiqian is very kind, she knows how to remind a passerby like him. In that case, young master, please be careful. Yu Shiqian didn't say anything more, she just left with Zhao Yu. After they left, Yu Shiqian shook her head. Let's go, there is nothing to see here. That person didn't leave, I don't know which sect he is from, but he came here alone, isn't he a little too bold? Zhao Yu said unhappily. How can he know the ancient language of the spirit race? Is what he said true? I think it's true. Yu Shiqian shook her head. Forget it, he has his own ideas, we can't change it, but if Qing Liuyun finds him, he will be in danger. Yu Shiqian saw that Yi Tianyun saw through Qing Liuyun's lies, so she warned him, plus she hated Qing Liuyun, so she warned him. Chapter 136. There must be some kind of treasure here. Maybe it's related to the spirit tribe. Otherwise, why would the beasts wander around here? Yi Tianyun frowned and continued to walk around the island, looking for every detail. Since there was a tombstone here, there must have been a great battle here and someone died here. There might be a tomb here. Of course, it could also be a memorial, which was why there was a tombstone here. Holding on to some hope, he circled around the area, but he didn't find any entrance. It was just a forest. That's strange. I can't see anything. Is it not in this area? Yi Tianyun frowned. He was very disappointed. Didn't this mean that he had searched for nothing? However, he did not give up. After walking around again, he finally saw some small words on a few trees. They were carved in the language of the spirit tribe. The language of the spirit tribe is carved on these trees. Let me decipher it. After reading it again, he connected the words engraved on it and formed a sentence. The gate to heaven? Then, he spoke in an incomprehensible voice. However, after he read it out, it was useless. Useless? Yi Tianyun looked at the trees. It was obvious that there was a formation here, something similar to a transportation formation. However, he could not activate it now. After studying it for a while, he finally found out that he could only activate the formation using the language of the spirit tribe. However, he had already tried it before and it was useless. Do I have to use spiritual energy? Then, Yi Tianyun tried it again. He read it again, but this time, He used his spiritual energy and merged it into the voice. When he read it, it was very magical. It was completely different from before. It was as if he was using his mother tongue. It was very spiritual. After he said it, the trees surrounding him lit up and enveloped him. In the next moment, he disappeared on the spot. However, nothing had changed here. It was as if nothing had happened. Yi Tianyun felt his vision blur, and then he found himself in an empty cave. Looking up, he saw that the surroundings were inlaid with luminous pearls, illuminating the pitch-black tunnel. Just this alone was enough to prove that this place was definitely not simple. Every single night pearl was a priceless commodity. If one was dug out and sold, it could be exchanged for a lot of gold and silver. We're finally in. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. Sure enough, he needed to infuse his voice with spiritual energy to activate the array. Otherwise, no matter how he chanted, it would be useless. Thankfully, he understood a bit of the spirit race's language. Otherwise, he would have made a wasted trip. How magical. If it weren't for Auntie's knowledge of the spirit tribe's language, I wouldn't have been able to enter. Yi Tianyun shook his head. He didn't know how Shi Xueyun understood the spirit tribe's language so well. If it weren't for Shi Xueyun, he wouldn't have understood this language at all. At first, it was Shi Xueyun who taught him how to read it, otherwise, he really wouldn't have understood it. I don't know what's in here. Is it really the tomb? He narrowed his eyes. According to the inscription on the tombstone, it was called Huan Qin's tomb. As for who this Huan Qin was, he wasn't very clear. In any case, he had to move forward carefully. When he first entered the Dragon God Shrine, he encountered some traps. If he was killed by the traps here, it would be a big loss for him. However, it turned out that he was overthinking. There were no traps along the way, and it was very smooth. As he continued to go deeper, it became hotter and hotter. A hot wind blew out from the inside, which looked very strange. But it didn't affect him at all. He was now at the spirit core stage, so ordinary heat was not a problem for him. When he completely walked out of the tunnel and stepped into the space in front of him, his eyes suddenly opened up. What greeted his eyes was a field of fire dragonstones, and the surroundings were filled with fire dragonstones. Layer after layer of heat waves were constantly released, enveloping the entire space. If an ordinary person were to enter, they would definitely be burnt to a crisp. This is a fire dragonstone. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes and looked at it. This thing was generally found in some dangerous places. It looked like a red stone that vaguely looked like a dragon. It was coiled on the surrounding wall and looked very lifelike. Fire dragonstone contained a very strong fire attribute spiritual energy. It looked like a piece of red-hot iron. The price was relatively high, and it was used by cultivators who specialized in fire attribute cultivation. He didn't expect to find so many fire dragonstones here, which was amazing. Who is it? A sharp voice came from the front. Yi Tianyun looked towards the direction of the sound and found that there was a sturdy cage in the center of the space. The cage was made of fire dragonstone. In this cage, there was a delicate young girl sitting in the middle of the cage, staring at him with eyes full of vigilance and anger. A living person? Yi Tianyun was shocked. He didn't expect that there would be a living person here. He thought that this was a tomb and there was nothing inside. At most, there would be a corpse. It seems that he was wrong. The girl in front of him was at most 16 or 17 years old. She was very beautiful. Her silver hair fell down and sprinkled on the ground. Her frail body was trapped in this cage, and she looked very pitiful. Staring at him with her beautiful silver eyes, it was full of anger. There was no pitiful look in her eyes, only stubborn and arrogant eyes, which did not match her delicate body. Especially the aura that she exuded, it was not so simple. She was definitely a strong cultivator. From the aura that she exuded, Yi Tianyun judged that her cultivation level was at least above core condensation. He estimated that she was trapped here, so her cultivation level seemed to be lower, so her real strength may be stronger. This can be sensed from the cold air that she exuded. With her as the center, a small area was frozen into a thick layer of ice, but it was quickly melted by the surrounding fire dragonstones. Overall, it seemed like she had been suppressed by the surrounding fire dragonstones. Furthermore, this cage made of fire dragon stones had suppressed her strength, causing her to only be able to move around in this small area. There was a tombstone outside, but there was a living person inside. This made him very surprised. According to the engravings on the outside, it should be called Huanqin, or maybe not. In any case, it was a fact that there was a living person here, and she was not an ordinary person. From her appearance, it can be seen that she was somewhat different from ordinary people. There were a few divine runes on her face. He heard that spirit race would have this kind of divine runes on their body. Chapter 137. Judging from the tombstone outside, it should be a tomb, but in front of him was not a tomb, there was a living person. A living person was trapped here, and it was a spirit race. This was somewhat intriguing. You are not from the spirit race. After looking at him for a while, the girl was shocked. If he wanted to come here, he must be very familiar with the spirit race's language, otherwise, he would not be able to come here. The greatest difference between the spirit race and the spirit race was their divine inscriptions. Their faces had faint traces of divine inscriptions, and on the forehead of this young girl, there were two faint divine inscriptions that formed a circle. They were the darlings of the divine rune world. They were too talented in drawing divine runes. If there was a comprehensive ranking of divine rune masters, 6 or 7 of the top 10 would definitely be occupied by the spirit race. This was the reason why they were so talented. Of course, I am not from the spirit race, I am just passing by. I wonder if you are the girl named Huanqin? Yi Tianyun looked at her up and down. It was definitely not easy to be imprisoned here. Who would have thought that there would be a girl imprisoned in such a dangerous place like Devil Cloud Island? How do you know my name? The girl was vigilant, she had already admitted that the name was hers. I saw it from the tombstone outside, it was engraved with the name Huanqin, it was left behind by some thundercloud. I thought there was a dead person here, I didn't expect you to be imprisoned here. Yi Tianyun shook his head. Thunder cloud. It seems that if I don't tell you the secret, this place will be my grave. Huanqin's eyes suddenly became extremely cold, killing intent burst out from her eyes, she didn't look like a 16 or 17-year-old girl at all. Yi Tianyun didn't intend to treat her as a girl, he was afraid that she was an old monster who was temporarily sealed here. Immediately, Huanqin's eyes narrowed, she turned to look at Yi Tianyun and said coldly, "How did you get in here? If you don't know the spirit race's language, it's impossible to come in. Is there someone hiding behind, or did Thunder Cloud bring you in? I don't know anything about this thundercloud you're talking about. I just know a little bit of the spirit race's language, so I came here by accident." Yi Tianyun shrugged his shoulders, looked at the cage and shook his head. Besides, why would I come in here? What information would I get from you? Do you think yourself an idiot, or do you think I'm an idiot? Just because a stranger comes in and tries to get close to you, he can get secrets out of you. I thought there was some kind of treasure here, but it seems like I was thinking too much. Huanqin was startled, but after thinking about it, she felt that it did make sense. I'm thinking too much. Then can you help me get out? Huanqin hurriedly shouted, I believe you are not sent by that person. As long as you save me, I will pay you enough. Not only did I give you an Earth-level martial art, but I also gave you quite a number of Dan formulas. It will definitely make you a powerhouse. Huanqin threw out a tempting reward. For others, it was a good reward. The reward is good, but little sister, why do you think I can open this cage? Yi Tianyun said indifferently, even if I take a step back, I don't know why you're imprisoned here. If you're a big devil, after I get you out, it won't be a good thing. So what if I have an Earth-level martial art? I'm afraid I won't be alive to learn it. Huanqin didn't know what to say. She had already thrown out her reward, what else could she say? If I'm a big devil, there will be no good people in the world. Huanqin's beautiful eyes were gloomy, full of sarcasm and sadness. Yi Tianyun was silent for a while, then looked up at her and said, The spirit race and I have a bit of fate, saving you is not a problem, but first, you have to tell me why you're imprisoned here. Yi Tianyun didn't think of himself as a good person, but he was definitely not a heinous bad person, so he would more or less help others. He didn't know why this Huanqin girl was imprisoned, so he had to understand her. If she was a heinous devil, he would not save her. Huanqin girl looked at him in silence for a while, not knowing where to start. After thinking for a while, Huanqin girl said, "Well, if you're sent by Lei Yun, there's no harm in telling me, it's not a secret at all. The reason why I'm imprisoned here is very simple. They want to get the secret of the spirit race from me. Now they can't get the secret out of me, and they won't let me out, because I'm the next holy maiden of the spirit race, so I won't be able to get the position. After being replaced by someone else, there will be a chance to regain the secret of the spirit race, so I'm just a waste now." Her eyes were full of anger and sadness. She was locked in this cage for the rest of her life. How could she not be sad? Yi Tianyun looked at her eyes, and from her expression, he could see that Huanqin was not lying. Holy maiden of the spirit race? This reminded him of Zhu Lingyun. There was a new saintess training plan. Was it also from the spirit tribe? But he didn't see any trace of the spirit race on Zhu Lingyun. Even the spirit race can't avoid the struggle for power. Yi Tianyun narrowed his eyes. The spirit race was already short of people, but they still wanted to fight for power. Wasn't it the same as destroying themselves? Humph. Do you think that the spirit race would do this? We have always lived in harmony. All of this is caused by Lei Yun, the dog of the Netherworld Empire. For your own selfish desires, you say it's for the good of the spirit race, but in fact, you're just competing for the position of patriarch. You're completely blinded by power. Huanqin's beautiful eyes were filled with anger. She couldn't wait to kill her fellow spirit race member named Lei Yun. The dog of the Netherworld Empire? Yi Tianyun's face sank. This was related to the 4th level forces, which had a lot of core transformation stage cultivators and even void spirit stage cultivators. The area under the control of an empire was really big. The Netherworld Empire will strongly support him to become the patriarch of the spirit race, but there is a corresponding condition. After he becomes the patriarch of the spirit race will become the vassal of the Netherworld Empire. Huanqin said angrily, "Our spirit race has never been attached to other forces, we have always been independent, we have never been involved with the forces of the Netherworld Empire. The reason why the Netherworld Empire did this is to stabilize their position." No wonder. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes, he finally knew the ins and outs of the matter. Ding. Activating the hidden line save the holy maiden of the spirit race. The decision will affect the structure of the world, please make a careful decision. Do you want to accept this hidden line? Affect the structure of the world? Yi Tianyun was startled for a second, then immediately smiled. Interesting, how can I not change the world? Accept.